full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3
doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Frank Pierce. And we would like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Sunday night, and we are live. If you want to be part of the show tonight, the number to call is 702-957-1037. You can find that phone number and the Discord link on troubledminds.org. We record this live, and we are live right now. And the reason we do that is because we want to hear from you. If you think we're challenged minds, like that individual just said in the chat, hello to you out there. If you think we're troubled minds, if you think we're just entertaining, if you think we're full of crap. That's why we do this with an open line, because we want you to be able to tell us what you think and educate us if we're wrong and steer us in the right direction if we're steering the wrong direction. So yeah, okay. That's what we're doing. And if you're new to the show, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about all the things we're not supposed to talk about, which of course would be the paranormal, which would be aliens and the possibility of aliens and the things that the government don't want us to talk about. We touched on some interesting things last show, and with the government and maybe false flags, wink wink, and those are the types of things that don't get covered in the mainstream media, and that's what we talk about. That's what we love to do here, and all the while trying to dodge the technocracy and the algorithms that are scanning in real time to take us down. But we do anyway, and here we are. So we will read the chat as we go, but if you want to be part of the show, give us a call, 702-957-1037. Go to troubledminds.org, find the Discord link, and you'll get on the show. There we go. All right, so I think that sums it up. We got some interesting things to talk about. I'll let Frank fill you in on what's coming. And Frank is back, by the way. So if anybody has missed Frank dearly, like I have, then you're in for a treat. All right, so we will do shout-outs in just a second. If you want a shout-out, just type where you're watching from, and we'll send you a shout-out from Las Vegas. So that's what we're doing, and yeah, let's make sure everything works. Does everything work? Let's see, does everything work? Looks like it's working. Looks like it's working. Okay, hold on, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, where is it? Frank Pierce.
Hello, my name is Frank Pearson. We're back again for another exciting show. Looking forward to talking about the things we have on tap for tonight. We've got UFOs, we've got government investigations, we've got space, we've got all sorts of technical news and more UFOs. Because UFOs are the best, and they're in the news lately, aren't they? Left and right, you can't escape them. And it's funny, people just don't seem to care. 50 years ago, if this had happened, people would be all over themselves. But they don't care. I was talking to someone today about UFOs, and they're like, "You crazy person? What are you talking about?" But they're in the news. They're in the New York Times. We should be paying attention. But no one cares. So that's an interesting little, I don't know, what is it? Cultural brainwashing? They brainwashed the UFOs. UFOs are bad. Now we can't pay attention to them. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's find out more about it, because it's an exciting time to be alive, isn't it?
I think we can say that at least, for the very least. Of all the crazy things that are happening, it is an exciting time to be alive, and rather have that than not, right? At least we have that. So yeah, and all the amazing clickbait. What's up, Timothy? Timothy gets first on Facebook. How you doing, buddy? And he's tagging all kinds of people. We appreciate that. Doug, what's up? He gets second, and he's I'm going to point him out. What's up, Doug? Mentally Challenged Minds is on. Yes, sir. Give me a call. Tell me why I'm mentally challenged. I'd love to hear it. Let's see, Marco, what's happening? We got Patrick from SLC. I don't know what that means. That's probably some super secret abbreviation for where you live. Giovanni, what's happening? Woises, thanks for being here. Let's see. Sam, how you doing? Gabe, we got, let's see. Why so late, Sam? We're not really that late. It's about 9-ish. Let's see. All right. Sherry, what's happening? Thanks for being here, Sherry. And let's see. Joe, open the portals. I'm here. All right. Didn't you come through the portal? I think this is like a digital, actual, like, 21st century portal, isn't it? Sort of, right? You can kind of call the internet some sort of weird portal. I'm sitting here in my my boxer shorts and with a beer in my hand, and you can hear me wherever you're at. That's a little weird, right? Think that qualifies, Frank? like an actual digital portal, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. It's amazing what we have. We have this internet. We can look up anything we want, literally anything. We have the sum total of human knowledge at our fingertips. And what do we do with it? We watch cat videos on YouTube. We watch, Game of Thrones spoilers and all this kind of stuff. It seems really weird, doesn't it? 100 years ago, people would have killed for the internet. 200 years ago, they would have conquered countries for what we have now.
And now?
We waste it. We fritter away our time. It's kind of silly.
And now we talk about clickbait from the express.co.uk. Okay, there you go. A little stab at us. Okay, we got more. We got Doug, we got Timothy, we got Joe, we got Sean. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Stephen, Sherry, I already said. Justin, all the way down. Who did I miss? Patrick from the SLC again. Nicole, how you doing? William from Alabama. Samantha from New York City. How you doing? Thanks for being here, guys. JJ, what's happening, buddy? Just in listen mode, no problem. You don't have to watch. We'll make it so it's easy peasy for you. Isaac, brainwashing. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, we're here to brainwash you. That's our agenda, I swear. Sam, Sean, and Timothy. It's mass hysteria. There you go. Okay, and Isaac says not everyone watches cat videos, so I think that's fair, right? That's fair. Not everybody. Okay, not to be left out. We got on Mixer. We got Noble Kal-El hosting us. We appreciate that. Thank you. And we got Luxor's Dragon in Arizona. Shout out on Twitch. Philip on YouTube. And there we go. There we go. No, you got to shout out Luxor. Come on. Okay, that's everybody. We are up to speed. All right. So since we're up to speed, Frank, what are we going to start with tonight? Being Sunday night.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Good night for the
thank you for
paranormal.
joining us. Yeah, let's go right into Orange Man talking about UFOs. I don't know if you played this on the last show, but Orange Man addresses the UFO phenomena. So let's play the clip, see what he has to say. And I watched this a few times. I think well, let's play the clip and then talk about it.
All right. And action.
As we mentioned, George also asked President Trump about reports of UFO sightings, and the president for the first time spoke about being briefed on this subject.
You and I, we know we disagree about that, but we have a whole day ahead to go on this. Before we go, one of the things you have as president is the access to all the information in the world, all the mysteries out there. And I was just struck in the last couple of weeks, we're reading more and more reports of Navy pilots seeing lots and lots of UFOs. Have you been briefed on that? What do you make of it?
I have. I think it's probably I want them to think whatever they think. They do say, I mean, I've seen and I've read and I've heard, and I did have one very brief meeting on it, but people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly.
Do you think you'd know if there were evidence of extraterrestrials?
Well, I think our great pilots would know. And some of them really see things that are a little bit different than in the past. So we're going to see. But we'll watch it. You'll be the first to know.
I want to be the first to know.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
There you go. Shut up, Stephanopoulos. We already saw what we wanted to see. Shut up. Yeah, all right. So that did you? Okay, I'm going to let you tackle that one, Frank. We didn't talk about that last show. Go ahead.
So first of all, you got to get past his odd use of language, right? You really do. So get past it. Yeah, he talks a bit funny. I talk a bit funny. You probably talk a bit funny too. You just don't realize it. So let's get past that odd use of language. And let's look at what he actually said. He never specifically addressed his knowledge of the situation. He completely avoided that answer. I don't know if you noticed that there. He said, my pilots think it's this. Oh, I personally believe is what he said, but he pinned it off on someone else. So when I was listening to this, and I listened to it a few times, I'm fairly certain that he does know something, and he dodged that question. If you can get past his horrible use of language, he completely dodged the question by pinning that answer on the pilots, on the people briefing him. He didn't answer the question. Did you notice that? I found that pretty funny and kind of strange at the same time.
Yeah, not only that, he kind of gave one of those weird smirks at the camera when he was asked the question as well, right? It's like it was like one of those cat ate the canary type of thing, like oh, wouldn't you like to know, right? Like, let's look at the camera and kind of give you almost a wink, right? It was a little bit strange. And and the funny thing about him and the way he communicates is he's very straightforward with mostly everything, right? And so here we have a situation. I'm sure we can find others, so this isn't isolated, but it is more on the rare side of the way the president communicates, that he's being a little bit evasive about it, right? Wasn't he? I mean, just like you said, he didn't really say, he said, I don't believe it. But of course, you're supposed to deny these things. And, at least he got that memo, right? He probably missed 85% of the other memos, but he got the UFO memo. Something like that, right? I don't know. It did look suspicious when I saw the clip the first couple times. I was like, wait a minute. This is not Donald Trump. At least, not in the normal way he communicates things.
Yeah, now let's say you hate Trump. Let's say you hate him. You think he's a horrible person. Everything the media has written about him is true. You don't like the guy. Let's say that's you out there listening to that clip. Imagine if he said, yeah, there could be UFOs. The endless media circus that would follow would tear this guy into the ground. You have to admit that to yourself if you hate this guy. If he said, yeah, there's probably UFOs out there, the world would stop. The media would print nothing but that for the next 2 weeks. They'd bring in clinicians to say he's crazy and insane. So there is no possible way he could admit that without being torn to pieces. Like, really, come on now. So it's almost like, why are you asking that question in the first place? There's no way he can give you an answer, but they ask it anyway. I don't know. I found that a bit weird. You just can't get answers from these people because the media is there to smear them if they say something off color. I think that was a perfect answer. He avoided the question entirely. And so we'll see. We'll see what comes out.
Yeah, and notably, again, this goes back to the stars and all the rest of that, right? Luis Elizondo, Tom DeLonge, the History Channel, Unidentified. So all this is kind of going on right now, and as Stephanopoulos however you say his name, pointed out, there's been a lot of media coverage in the last probably 3 weeks about unidentified flying object, UFOs. They call them UAPs now, right? They've changed it, unidentified aerial phenomena, because UFO is so, Project Blue Book 1950s, 1960s. So we've at least changed the acronym, but have the phenomenon itself changed at all? Good question. Again, a question for the ages. But I did think Trump had a little bit of a smirk there, a little bit of a, hey, I know something here, I'm just not going to tell you. And you're right. I think you're right there, Frank. No matter what he says, I think in asking him that question, you're hoping he'll say something unutterably stupid, right? Where you would just like smack your forehead and run straight to the New York Times and the Washington Post and be like, hey, here we go. We got it on a hot plate. Run it. He just said something unbelievably stupid again, right? But yeah, I don't know. Again, he is the president. He's supposedly been briefed on many of these high level things. So Oh boy. Well, a few more shout outs before we move on here. Fred, what's happening? Thanks for being here. We got Mark watching from the fifth dimension. Call in and let us know what that's like, please. I hope they have cold beer there. Jennifer from Las Vegas, how are you? Let's see. What else? Steven, what's up? Says, I'm 60 years old and been fascinated on the subject since 1975. Yep, definitely. Lots of good stuff here. Let's see. What else? Anybody else that I miss? All hail Orange Man, says Timothy. Samantha, he's just not sure. Yeah, that could be. It could be that he's really doesn't know what to think. And insert your own opinion there. Isaac, I love the show so far. Thanks, Isaac. We appreciate that. Let's see who else. Joe, and okay, I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss any shout outs. Steven, and yeah, all right, there we go. What's up, Dale? Thanks for being here. Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, so anything else on the Trump thing, Frank? Hold on, I think I got another article about this as well. Let me pull this up. If you got any Trumpisms you want to roll out at this point, would be good.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. It'll be interesting to see. I can imagine him spilling the beans if, he gets voted out or if the election's stolen against him or something like that. I can imagine him having a little bit of a temper tantrum, snit fit, and saying, hey, yeah, there's UFOs out there, or saying something cryptic to make everyone believe that this is true. Or speech where he said, oh, the military-industrial complex is the bane of the world. You remember that one? So I can easily imagine him doing something very similar to that. So what, are we hoping he gets ousted in a horrible way so he spills the beans and has a temper tantrum? At least we'll get some answers that way. I don't know.
Maybe. And so here we go back to our favorite, one of our favorite tabloids, the express.co.uk. The headline here is, what is Trump hiding? Strange reaction to Pentagon UFO question sparks online frenzy. So I guess you can chalk us up to one of the online frenziers, frenzy-ees, frenzy-ans. I don't know what would be the term. But yeah, so here we go. I did link this if you guys want to check it out, and the video is embedded in this article. So there you go. What do you think? Does Donald Trump know something about UFOs, or is he not sure? Yeah, I think that could probably be years of speculation.
Yeah, it could be. I would push against the fact that this is clickbait, because this is what the media should do. This is what George Snuffleupagus, whatever the heck his name is, this is what he should do, is he should ask the people the relevant questions. And he did that. So we've had this New York Times coverage. We've had all this coverage for weeks and weeks, and a television show on the History Channel, all this kind of stuff. He's the first person to ask the president. Shouldn't this be a regular occurrence at the press White House briefings? Shouldn't a reporter from the New York Times, the same reporter publishing this UFO story, stand up and say, hey, what's with these UFOs? This is what the media should be doing. Why is Snuffleupagus here the only person to do it? It doesn't make any sense. So this isn't clickbait. This is good information, and I'm glad someone out there is asking these questions.
Yeah, exactly. Timothy says, George, step on all of us. There you go. I think we just found the proper way to pronounce this guy's name. Giovanni, what's up, says, all in the wording. Go to learn your comprehension of people, of complete sentences, people. LOL. So as you type it, I can't read it. So there we go. Put me in that bucket. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, sorry about that, Sean. Sean's taking off. He's not feeling well. That's fine. We'll catch you next time. Feel better. All that good stuff. It's going around, I hear. It's definitely going around. Okay. And yeah, that's a made-up word. Yeah, it's probably made up. Wait, hold on. Let me ask you this, Frank. So I tend to make up lots of words in my normal daily communication, like isms, and I call them Mike-isms even. Do you tend to do that? Does it kind of slip out, or at least before maybe your filter hits it, does like a weird, like twisting the word to a particular degree? Does that ever like pop into your mind? Or are you so like
Of course it does.
Properly. Oh, it does. Okay, it does. Okay,
no,
so you're
because
not
that's a language. Yeah, there'll be people out there who tell you that's not a word. You're an idiot. That's how language develops out there, people. Do you think people had all the words initially? No, they made up a random word, and the farmer down the street heard them saying that random word. They started saying it too. That's how language develops. So stop being grammar Nazis. This is the way the world works. There you go. There's my rant over.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. And it seems like before sentences come, there's a thought. There's like an abstract thought that has to fire through the neurons and then, like battle through the beer and then get to the point where maybe it like comes out in some kind of coherent sentence. I'm telling you, the struggle is real. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, feel better, Sean. Thanks for being here. Mike, what's up, Mike on Facebook says, are you guys only on Facebook? No, sir. Go to troubleminds.org. You can find we're streaming on YouTube right now. We're streaming on Periscope, which I failed to mention at the beginning. Streaming on Mixer, streaming on, what else? We're missing some. Oh, Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch. And see, battling the beer. Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch. And, yeah, anyway, there's tons of things we're streaming on, archived everywhere. You can find us on SoundCloud, etc. It's all on troubleminds.org. Thanks for asking. Okay. Timothy says nanobots in your cereal. Okay, we haven't got to that one yet. We haven't quite got to that one yet. Maybe we will someday. And okay, what's up, Malik? Yo, I'm back. Thanks for being back. Okay, and yeah, there we go. And Bat Out of Hell says Rocket Man on YouTube. Yeah, is Kim Jong Un? Is that code? Okay. What's up, Philip? Okay, so all right. Anything else on Trump? Apparently not. Let's move on to the next thing.
No, let's move on to more people pressing government officials for information, because that's what they should be doing to get these answers. Open up the blackvault.com. We know this guy. We talk about him all the time. We are in love with this guy. What's his name? I forget his name. He's the Black Vault guy, John Greenwald Jr. So, okay, we can go on and on. You know, To the Stars Academy. You know, the Unidentified Show. You know, Luis Elizondo, head of AATIP, or so he claims. John Greenwald has once again gone out and said, hey, Pentagon, did this guy really work for you? He says he did. Other people says he didn't. So he's got a second statement. I don't know if we covered this already. A second statement. And he says here that this memo that confirms Luis Elizondo worked for AATIP is authentic, but it makes no change to my previous statements. Mr. Elizondo had no responsibilities with regard to the AATIP program. So there you go. There's two statements saying this guy had no participation in this program, no responsibilities. What's going on here?
Yeah, again, we've done hours and hours and hours on this saga, and this is again, I call John Greenwald Jr. of the Black Vault here the AATIP watchdog, because that's really what he's turned into, because he's keeping these guys honest, at least in all the claims they make, and they've made a lot of claims. Remember, what are some of the claims they've made? They said that they had these UFO videos that were released to them by the Pentagon, and they were given, they had the chain of custody evidence from the government, and all these things, right? They have all these claims, and they can't prove any of them. And so here we are. The Pentagon has denied it. They've said he doesn't actually work for them, he didn't have any AATIP responsibilities, which is AATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which, again, aerospace and aviation is the second A, which is still foggy and being litigated in in the government documents. So there's tons of stuff here, and then of course, if you guys have seen the show Unidentified on the History Channel, this is all part of this, and I'm skeptical. Are you skeptical, Frank?
I'm really skeptical. I'm skeptical. Why does, again, let's repeat, this show is a lot of repeating, but let's repeat what I just said earlier. Why can someone not go to the White House press briefing and ask the White House secretary, hey, who is in charge of AATIP? And then they can do their little investigation, get back and tell us the answer. Tell us the official answer. Why does some watchdog on the internet have to email Pentagon officials on his own time? This is journalism. Journalists should be doing this. We could have this problem answered in no time. Just go ask the question. Say, hey, who worked for AATIP? Did this guy have a job? What's going on here? Please clarify. Why is no one doing this? Why is no one out there asking questions to get answers? It's very simple. You want an answer, you ask a question. That's what this show is about. That's what they should be doing in the news. Why is this not happening? Why can't they just clarify it? Why is there all this mystery? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's being confusing on purpose, I feel, because I don't get it. I really don't get it. Ask the damn question. You'll get a good answer. And no one's doing it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And so, again, we'll keep an eye on this. If you guys want further background on this, we're just going to touch on this right now a little bit, because we have done hours and hours and hours droning on about this. I'm sure it's more exciting than that. But if you want to check it out, go to troubleminds.org. We did one months and months and months back. It's called To the Stars Disclosure Project. You can find it on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. And then we've done several recently, because a lot of the information has come out recently now. The government documents either refuting what they said or saying we don't know what they're talking about, or all kinds of other stuff. Notice the government not once has said anything that really backs up any of their claims. I think that's the most, is it troubling? I'm not sure it's troubling. How about the thing that piques my curiosity the most? Because here we are, these guys are saying we have information about alien disclosure, right? They never really use the term alien, but they're heavily inferring that these things we see in the sky, the UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, are not from this world, this world, right? So even though you don't directly go to aliens or extraterrestrials, it's heavily implied here. And so with some sort of official outlet, and I hate to call the History Channel an official outlet at this point, but that's what they're expecting us to believe. That, so you see the mess this is kind of making of, I don't know. The whole thing, really. Does it make us look like fools talking about it? Maybe. Does it make them look like fools presenting it the way they do? Maybe. Are they in it just to grab a buck? Maybe, in my opinion. Wink. But I don't know. So again, we talked about this quite a bit. So just kind of touching on more of this of what the hell's actually happening here. If you guys do want more, I did link the Black Vault. There's tons of information on here. He has been on top of them since the first press conference and been filing FOIA requests. That's the Freedom of Information Act, and getting actual government documents regarding AATIP and Lou Elizondo. And yeah, so anyway, suspicious. They got their own
I want to
history
add another thing there, add another little bit of information. When I saw that clip, I said, okay, the government isn't discussing it. And then I went to look at the UN, the United Nations, because I figured, that they're concerned about global warming, these global issues that'll all impact us. They're concerned about disease. They're concerned about politics, all this kind of stuff. So the UN should be saying, hey, what about these UFOs, right? Because this is a global issue. They've said in that History Channel show, these could be threats. These could be very serious threats, and we can't counter them. So I figured, hey, someone at the UN, someone somewhere must have said something about this, right? Nope, nothing, not a single peep. So what does that mean? Either they know something that we don't, and it's not a concern at all, or they're borderline, I don't want to use the R word, they're not good at their jobs. Let's put it that way. It's got to be one of those two things. Because if this is a global issue, if these are real threats, someone in the UN, a busybody somewhere, should be investigating this, looking into it, but there's been nothing at all. And that's pretty telling.
Yeah, and nothing official anyway. And so you would think that there would be some sort of a corroboration to at least part of the story, right? At least a portion, a small portion, before they got their own show on the History Channel. But remember, they started by asking for like $1 billion or something. They're like, if you want to see the UFOs, we need the dollars. It was something like that. So anyway, we'll move on here. What's up, Pawpaw? Thanks for showing up. What's the topic I just got here? We're just kind of jumping from topic to topic. We're on UFOs right now. Thanks for being here. Let's see, who else? Kelly. Oh, this is an interesting one, Frank. Kelly wants to know, did you see they are going to have film of a UFO shooting down a helicopter? Yeah, I think we have something about that, don't we?
Pull up, that's the Tom DeLonge Instagram post, I believe, that he put up and then he deleted afterwards. That's very suspicious. So there's an Imgur archive link of it. But here we go. We can pull this up. What if I was briefed? This is Tom DeLonge speaking on Instagram. What if I was briefed by an Italian intelligence agency that a UFO shot down a military helicopter out of the sky, and there are pics of the UFO chasing the helicopter along with a formal Italian intel report? And what if it's on the next 2 episodes of my show, Unidentified in the History Channel? And of course, the image he attaches to this has nothing to do with that. That's not an Italian helicopter. This is just one of these 3 go fast gimbal tic-tac videos. But there you go. So he posted this on Instagram. He's teasing it, and then he deleted it. I don't know. Do you think we're going to see this? Do you think we're going to see a UFO actually shooting down a helicopter? Give me pardon my language, give me a fucking break. No, we're not. Ever.
Right? Yeah, I did like this. So he put it up and then he deleted it, right? Knowing that we would eat it up, or I'm not exactly sure what the issue is here with this guy. Again, it seems like if you want to present yourself, like I said, this goes back to my wear a tie argument, right? It's like if you want to be taken seriously, don't put up an Instagram post and then delete it instantly, right? Making claims that you probably can't back up, right? If you want people to take you seriously, don't roll out of bed, put your hat on sideways, and smelling like bourbon go down to the press conference to try and convince people that you have information about UFOs. It just doesn't make sense. Like, a lot of this is so sideways at this point that There we go. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out because Kelly pointed it out. yeah. Frank picked that one out and had it ready to go. So yeah, I'm not sure what to think about this other than I'm very, 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 very suspicious. Very suspicious. And let's see how this rolls out, because eventually the truth will come out. And Lou Elizondo, we played some clips of an interview with him, and we actually have that clip. Should we play that clip, Frank? Of him actually discussing this while we're on the topic?
Yeah, go for it.
We played this previously.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's play it.
So he's actually talking about, now this is an interview from Lou Elizondo and To the Stars Academy, and he was asked the question about what do you think about the Pentagon kind of disavowing you? So here's the answer. Let's see.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, look, in today's day of media, look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And not everyone is necessarily going to agree with or even like what we're doing. And especially, I think, when we're talking about speaking about topics as rich and potentially as obscure and contentious at times as UFOs. And because of that, people are always going to have to try to poke holes in a story. I get it. That's just what the media does. But I'm very confident, along with others that are in senior positions of the U.S. government, of my credentials. The Department of Defense is a large bureaucracy, and sometimes it takes time for information to trickle down. So this may very well be one of those cases. And frankly, I'm pretty optimistic that at some point here their position may change again. So it's not unfortunately. I wish I would say it's unusual, but sometimes it takes a while for information to. Keeping in mind, for the last year and a half, they had already said for the record that I actually was part of the program. So, I think they probably got their wires crossed somewhere.
Yeah, there it is. They got their wires crossed somewhere. This guy knows what he knows, and that's that. And no matter what the government says, and remember, we're not government apologists here, so there's something suspicious afoot. Is all. There you go. Right out of the mouth of the man himself, Lou Elizondo. Okay. We can probably move on from this.
We can move on. I extremely doubt, though, that we're going to see this, what he claims. We're not going to see a UFO chasing a helicopter and the helicopter exploding into a ball of flame and then some briefing. I doubt it. I mean, I don't want to say I'll eat my hat because you never know what could happen, but I doubt it. He says it's on the next 2 episodes, though, so we better watch. We better stay tuned, our eyes glued to the television set, because we might miss it. Let's open up Raytheon. This Raytheon news here. So they're the ones who actually made these FLIR pods that look at the UFOs. They're the ones that made these things that took the pictures, right? So they've got something to say. They put out a little statement 2 years ago. But what do they say here? 80 nautical miles off San Diego, the USS Nimitz Battle Group was engaged in a routine training. Then it became anything but routine. So they summarize this. You can see a picture of the FLIR pod there. That's the thing that took the image of this UFO. You see that? And interesting here, they have a little thing. Even so, the video images are not definitive proof that the jet pilots were chasing an actual UFO. To be really sure, we would need the raw data, said Dr. Steve Cummings, Vice President of Technological Development and Execution at Raytheon. Visual displays alone are not the best evidence. So there you go. This is from the horse's mouth, the people who made the camera that filmed the UFO, and they're saying, we can't be sure. It could be something else. It could be, like we've played clips before, it could be just some infrared glitch. It could be just a plane that was not zoomed in, not focused correctly. There you go. This is from the horse's mouth. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of standard, right? And this is, again, probably the main premise of the show, going way back to the very first episode. We talk about governments and disinformation and conspiracies. And so what is this? So this is obviously Raytheon. They're a government contractor. Billions and billions of dollars flow through this company from the government. Maybe to the point of trillions at this point. They've been attached so long in a business sense. And so what would they do? So is this fake news? Would they actually put this out as the government kind of gave him a wink, wink, hey, could you put something out to maybe say that blah, 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 to maybe shoot this down as some sort of a camera anomaly? Or, you know what I mean? So it's unbelievable when you read things and you look up like just in one like tiny laser niche, one tiny topic like this, you see all the information is pointing opposite directions, right? Like sometimes some guys say, well, it could be a problem with the camera. Other guys say, well, it was definitely a UFO that went underwater and then flew out and then disappeared, right? It engaged me, as a fighter pilot. I was frightened. It's like, I don't know what to think here. I mean, here's more evidence that maybe makes Lou and Tom DeLonge look like knuckleheads, right? But we have a ton of contradictory evidence pointing to the opposite as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know what to think. Like, this, to me, is just, I would write this off as propaganda, at least as the source, just because they're so damn close to the government, right? They're not going to put out information like, kind of what would you say? Cutting off their money source. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? You know what I mean? They're not going to say something to make the government look bad, at least not without being prompted or allowed to. You know what I mean? I don't know. This again, the source just makes me cringe, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
I can see that, but you're trying to make money. You're a capitalistic enterprise. You're making money hand over fist. You want more because that's what companies do. They want more money. I can easily see them saying something like, our cameras, they can catch UFOs. The competitors' cameras, no, they're not good enough, but our cameras are good enough to catch extraterrestrial spaceships. You better buy these things. I can see them saying something like that just to sell more product, to get more money, So you always got to look at it like that too. But yeah, you're right. This is a compromised source. If they say something, they could lose contracts, lose jobs, lose money too. So you never know.
Yeah, that's so whatever. I mean, hi Raytheon. Thanks for doing what you do, whatever that is, because you can't tell us, but somehow you can tell us this. Yeah, just like Frank said, wink, wink. Buy more of these cameras, you'll see more UFOs. Yeah, who really freaking knows? Who knows? Yeah, I did have the question a little bit earlier. The phones are live, so if you want to call in and test them, I did do a thorough test prior to the show, so everything should be working unless my sliders magically move again and mute things in real time, which they have. Haven't they, Frank? You've been seeing some weird shit too?
Yeah, there's some, you don't want to be paranoid. You don't want to think that some person out there is hijacking your computer, switching the sliders around. But my internet, it's going up and down. He's got sliders moving around. It's very suspicious. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
There you go. So we did do a test prior to the show. Everything should be working. If you want to give us a call, 702-957-1037. This show is live. It is Sunday night and even into the AM if you're on the East Coast, past the witching hour. And you can give us a call. If you want to find the phone number and the Discord link, you can be on the show with either of those. Go to troubleminds.org and get in here. Tell us what you think. Do you like the show? Show feedback is good. You think we're full of shit? No problem. We're here for that. If you want to point out something maybe we missed, perfect. We're here for that. Like whatever you got. If you saw a UFO, we'd love to hear it. These types of things. Keep it on topic if you can. If you just want to say hi, no problem. We're here for that as well. So, all right. And we got one more in this vein, unless you want to move on there, Frank.
Yeah, one more quick one. Let's open up metro.co.uk, another great source of journalism. Here we go. A final story on this To the Stars Academy business. Pentagon and the Ministry of Defense, I think that's English, or the UK. Pentagon and Ministry of Defense officials feared UFOs were either demonic or sent by God. Former investigators reveal. So this is from a year ago. I think he expressed this same view on episode 3 of the show, which was on Friday. But they feared that these UFOs were demonic or sent by God. Okay, so let's read more into this because that's a clickbait headline if I've ever heard one. Elizondo, a former intelligence officer who ran AATIP, has told Las Vegas Now that his study also received pushback from the Pentagon because some top-ranking officials opposed it on religious grounds. So AATIP was studying these UFOs, and he's getting pushback on that study because some Pentagon officials think these things are demons. They think these things are sent by God or the devil, and they're flying around in the sky. They're not UFOs. They're not aliens. They are demons. And so the Pentagon, the religious people there said, no, we don't want anything to do with demons. Let's stay away from that. What do you think about this?
Am I supposed to think about this? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It may be demonic. right? I mean, okay. Seeing that we're talking about possible entities from other worlds and or dimensions, why not demons? You know what I mean? Like if you just bake it down to, okay, let's pull out the religious stuff and just say, well, we've talked about this quite a bit. Isn't it the same thing? It could be the same thing, like very close to the same damn thing. But of course, the government trying to distance themselves from the demonic or sent by God, I could understand. But right, I mean, we're talking interdimensional, we're talking interplanetary, intergalactic planetary. You know what I'm saying there, Frank? It's I don't know. That's a song, by the Beastie Boys, if anybody. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I get why they want to avoid the press for God or demonic, but it's not really that far out of the realm when you're in the realm of, what would you say? Let's call it the Twilight Zone, right? Like for lack of a better term, it's the guys from Mysterious Universe call it a high weirdness, right? Like there's tons of crazy things going on, and you can't really quantify it or classify it. So what do? You call it demons or this or that or aliens, or I get it, maybe, right? Like I understand why they'd want to distance themselves, but me myself, why not demonic or sent by God? I'm with this article. I'm with the Metro.co UK, Frank.
Yeah, so let me read another couple of statements here. I was aware that the Pentagon pushback on UFO research was in part due to the religious belief of some involved. It was an irony that UFO investigators were being hampered because of some people's belief in God meant they either didn't believe in the UFO phenomena or they regarded UFOs as extraterrestrials and demonic in nature. So there you go. So they're saying they refused to investigate these UFOs because they thought they were demons. That's the gist of this article. So these God-fearing individuals in the Pentagon are like, hey, demons? Yeah, we're not having any of that. We're not investigating. This is heresy. This is horrible. I don't believe this for a second. I don't believe this for a goddamn second. So I went to look. I went to see. We've talked about demons on the show and possessions and all this kind of stuff. I wanted to get the common man's opinion on what to do if you encounter a demon, how you react to demons. And this is from the religious sense, right? Again, our personal views on the demons and aliens and all this is probably the same thing. Go back 10,000 years, probably had some aliens floating around. People looked at them and called them demons, right? That's how I tend to look at it. Anyway, I wanted to see what people thought about demons. Should we deny their existence? If you run into a demon in the street, should you say, you're not real? Jesus, help me, you're not real, go away. Or what else would you do to this demon? So let's play this clip. I know you know the one. This is a guy talking about demons from the religious sense and what you should do to them if you see them.
Perfect. Okay, so you said there's some special instructions here. Do I just start from the beginning on this one?
Yeah, so this is a very good clip. Play the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We're going to play the whole thing because it's a killer clip. This is in the context of the government refusing to investigate demons. So let's play this clip.
Okay, let's do it. And
we want to teach you how to be armed and anchored, and you cannot be spiritually armed and spiritually anchored without knowing and understanding clearly the most important verse in the New Testament on demonic warfare as it relates to you as a believer. Let's look at it closely. Get your Bible. Ephesians 6, verse 12. Paul says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places." Now, if you notice, the word against appears no less than 5 times. It's adversative in Greek. He wants you to know the minute you start praying, the minute you start dreaming a vision for God, the minute you start living a life of Christian distinction, the minute you start pursuing personal purity in your life, the minute you want your marriage to be consecrated to God, the minute you want your family to be, as Jonathan Edwards said, a little church where the dad is a pastor, you are in spiritual warfare because Satan has come to kill and to steal and destroy. The enemy and those who work with him, known as demons, daemon, daemonian in Greek, it's plural. There's more than one. There are multitudes of demons in the world, But in this unique verse, they are divided in 4 levels of authority and diabolical intent to destroy the church, destroy nations, deceive government leaders. Let's come on and close. We do not wrestle. Now, the word wrestle in Greek or in English is from pale. Pale is totally different than just having a little mat where maybe you pin a wrestler. It means fight. It means hand-to-hand combat. In Paul's day, he was reflecting on the Isthmian Games there in Corinth. The wrestler who won was rewarded. The wrestler who lost, his eyes were gouged out.
Okay, I think that's about 2 minutes, 10 seconds, just about. So, okay, so if you guys
you
are
get
yeah, go ahead.
You get the sense of what's going on there. The government says we're not going to investigate these UFOs because we're afraid they're demons. We don't want anything to do with demons. Let's take this statement as true. Let's take this statement as fact that the government actually thinks there's demons in these UFOs. And they say, come on, give me a break. Listen to what that guy said. These guys are chomping at the bit to fight with demons. Did you hear did you hear the tone of his voice and what he was saying? These religious people, and again, that's not me, that's not you, I don't think, but they want to fight demons. They want to shoot these craft with high explosive incendiary rounds and blow them into smithereens. That's their goal in life. That's being faithful to the Bible. So this idea that they don't want to investigate, I don't believe that for a second. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, demons, Frank. I mean, right? I mean, if demons exist, wouldn't you want to fight them?
What higher calling could people have if they're truly religious and they truly believe that UFOs and demons are tied? What higher calling could people have if they believed in this kind of stuff than burning them with nuclear fire? You know, they'd love to do it. That guy would, I could definitely tell. You know, so this idea that they're refusing to investigate because they think they're demons, that's an excuse. It's nonsense. I don't believe it for a second.
I'm looking at this guy, and he's got gigantic bags under his eyes despite all the makeup caked on. So I wonder, do you think he stayed up really late last night reading his Bible? Just curious. Just curious. Just a random observation. Okay. So, fill in the blanks there. I don't know what this guy was doing last night, previous to the recording here. But okay. But if there were demons, Frank, wouldn't you want to take him down? I kind of would. It's like watching, like, he's got the Spartan here, armed and anchored. We're talking about, like, the 300. This is Sparta, right? Like, hey, man, if there's demons, we're going to get them, aren't we? I'd want to take him down.
Yeah, so, again, imagine that guy. This guy in the clip, he's a preacher, but imagine he was a Pentagon senior official. This guy would be begging for money to blow up the goddamn demon UFOs. He would be begging for money. He would be begging for rounds and battleships and, you know, all sorts of things to go after the demons. So this excuse, again, maybe I'm being a little bit facetious here and pedantic, but this excuse that they're not looking into UFOs because they think they're demons is complete nonsense, in my opinion.
No, it's what will you call it? They do so many things in politics for the reasons of optics, right? And so even though they're actually discussing these really terrible things behind the scenes, closed doors, all this business, right? It's happening. But you can't ever even hint that this is a thing, or else it's so bad politically that you end up taking so much damage that you damage the Democratic platform, the Republican platform, or you know what I mean, one way or the other. It's still, and again, don't be fooled. If you guys are so married to one or the other, you're being fooled. That these issues are what they are, and they don't belong to a party. They belong to you as an individual. Just to remind you of that. Don't get so stuck in this right or left business that you think this is, oh, he's a religious guy, so he must live in a red state. He lives in Arkansas, I know, and he's religious, and you know what I mean? Like you start like making demographics in your brain, and you're playing into their game, right? Individuals are individuals, and that guy may have been out on in my opinion, speculative, on a bender with hookers last night, doing a bunch of coke, which is why he had, the bags under his eyes. But of course, that's not true. But I'm just saying that you never know, right? Like we tend to fall into these traps of, well, this is what this guy wants us to believe, or this is what the party wants us to believe. And so the further you get from that, and instantly labeling people based on what you know, like I just did. Of course, this is a good religious boy, stayed up late reading his Bible. I'm just saying, don't do that, because you end up, I don't know, what would you say? Calling the government good? I don't know. I lost my train of thought, Frank. Save me.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. People have different perspectives, but I think the perspective of a religious person is that they would want to destroy these demons. If UFOs are really demons, they would want to destroy them. They'd want to get rid of them. They wouldn't. Again, let's go back to this article. I was aware that there was pushback at the Pentagon on UFO research, in part due to the religious beliefs of some involved. And again, I don't really buy that. I really don't buy that. If these people, if that guy was in charge, he'd be after these UFO demons in no time. This guy actually said something interesting that can be applied to this whole UFO phenomena at large, and that's nefarious intent. Did you catch that? He said these demons have nefarious intent. Well, it's funny that, who's that guy? The UFO abduction regression researcher. What was his name? I'm drawing a blank here.
Which guy?
Goodness.
Yeah, I don't know.
The guy who does regressions. Yeah, okay. If you've been listening to the show, there's this guy out there who does regression analysis on abduction victims. And his conclusion is that these aliens are coming to this world with nefarious intent, using the same kind of language as this preacher guy here, is that they want to repopulate the earth with these hybrids and essentially breed us out of the population, us real humans. I found that a bit funny. They're using the same kind of language.
That's not the Dr. David Jacobs or anything like that.
Yes, that's it.
That's the guy. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm with you. No, and I get you. But you hear what I'm saying though. It's like the optics, the political optics of the thing. If they're too polarizing, you can't run with it. I could see that. Even if you believe in the holy hellfire of God and the devil and the lake of fire and all those things, right? All of the religious dogma that gets wrapped up in that. Don't be offended, right? Don't be offended. If you do, that's fine. I'm just saying, if you believe in that and you're in the political machine, you can't leak out too much of that or you look like you're crazy, right? And it's not necessarily that you are or that the notion or the thoughts are crazy, because like I said, if you bake it down to that very first premise of we don't know what this is, so it could be any of those things, that's fine. But try and explain that to voters, right? Try and explain that to taxpayers. You get my point. I guess I kind of summed it up on that rambly whatever I said previously, but that's kind of what I was trying to get at. But yeah, let's get the demons, Frank. I'm with you, buddy. I got your back.
Yeah, let's go back to this clip. Again, this preacher says something pretty interesting from 3 minutes 30 to about 4:20. So let's play that brief clip and see if that relates to the UFO phenomena at large.
Okay, so 4 more levels of demons here. One more time. What's the starting point?
3:30.
3:30, thank you. 3:30, let's go there, and we're going to play this. We'll finish this up, and then we'll move off of demons, guys. There we go, action.
Lust of the eyes and the pride of life. Thirdly, we have the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's an interesting word because it is a word that talks about cosmo, the world, but then it's talking about rulers. These particular demons rule over different nations of the earth. Governments that reject Jesus Christ, that reject God. In one particular study, a scholar says that these are sophisticated, high-level demons working in a way that would bring entire nations under spiritual blindness and bondage. And then fourthly, we have the spiritual host
Yeah, you
of
can kill that now.
wickedness.
Killed. All right, you got it.
But doesn't that sound interesting? You have these demons working with governments to oppress the population. Well, how is that any different than aliens working with governments to oppress the population? Like David Jacobs said, like a bunch of other people have said, like David Icke and all these people. You've got these aliens, reptilians for David Icke, and they're in government positions and they're trying to destroy humanity. And here we go. We have a preacher saying we've got demons in government positions trying to destroy humanity. Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's there's some parallels here. So with the religious stuff, with the alien stuff, and maybe they're demons. This may blow your mind if you're new, if you're not new to this type of thought. What if aliens in the very beginning were actually considered demons, right? And so with religious history, they are one and the same. So you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem too far out of the realm of possibility. So yeah, I mean, all right. I'm with you, Frank. As long as we're fighting demons, I'm on your side. Other things, questionable. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, let's clarify that. The aliens are demons. The demons are not aliens. Does that make sense? Yes, it does.
Yeah,
right?
makes
So
perfect sense.
the demons in the book, they were just aliens way back then. And they're still around and they're still messing with us.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's exactly my notion. Like I said, if you take it back to the very beginning and before human recorded history, and we have people passing down stories of demons or ghosts or specters or haunts or vampires or werewolves or whatever it happens to be, right? But what if a huge swath of that ends up being extraterrestrial some way or the other? It basically ends up falling into Tsoukalos and Giorgio Tsoukalos, the big hair guy. Therefore it's aliens. That, right? Because if they were here a long time ago, of course there would be crazy stories told about these things that we could not explain. And so yeah, I'm with you 100%. And again, like on a basic level of understanding and trying to figure out what's going on, having the two be the same thing is not really that far of a stretch to me. But other people will fight tooth and nail to say that it's a ridiculous stretch. So yeah. Again, right? The beauty and the value of one opinion. And again, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what Frank thinks. It matters what you think. So here we are. Here we are. Let's get the demons, Frank.
Let's get the goddamn demons. If they're aliens, that's good enough for me.
Good enough.
Any comments about that? Are people calling me crazy? Is there any chatter out there? What do the people out there think? I'd love to know.
Yeah, here we go. John, what's up? John says, Frank and 420. Love it. There you go, Frank. You're spawning a subculture. Dale, what's up? Let's see. Hold on. Samantha wants to know reptilian? ? Possibly, right? Okay, so do you guys have comments on this? What do you think? So this is live. We do this live. We'll read the comments, but if you want to call and get on the show, we are live. Please help us test the phones. And Ways Up Timothy said the most drunk person in the chat is the person that has to call first. So if you're that guy or gal, well, I'm probably that guy, so I can't call myself. So the second drunkest has to call. So would you call us? 702-957-1037. I'm kidding, I'm not drunk. And you can go to troubleminds.org and click the Discord link and get on the show that way. What do you guys think? So we've talked about this a little bit in the past on this show between aliens and demons, and like is there a connection there, right? So if you're a demon, right, and you go through a portal into the seven hells, right, the quote seven hells, or if you're an alien and you go into a portal to Alpha Centauri because you can't fly here in one lifetime, you see the parallel? Like it lines up. There's a lot of things there that are very synchronous with those types of thoughts. So what do you guys think? Drop it in the chat and we'll read some of this. But if you want to call us, please do. Let's test the phone lines. Like I said, I tested them. Everything should be working. And there's one way to find out. 702-957-1037. We'll put you on and you can talk to Frank and Mike and tell us what you think. And there we go. We got some good comments here. What's up? Luxor's Dragon on Twitch says, if you look at the word demon, it could be translated at from the moon. D equals from and mon equals moon. And they always carry a negative connotation. An ancient word for the moon is sin, S-I-N. Sin also has a negative connotation. Mon also means mono or alone. In ancient symbolism, the moon is known as being solo/mono, since her husband of the sun died and went into the underworld. So depending on how you closely look at it, demons can very easily be interpreted as beings from outer space that come down to do harm to us. There you go. That's better said than I could. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, amen. I completely agree. I think that's what it is, and we've got to get over it. And this religious fundamentalism kind of gets in the way, but there are other. That's the thing. It's the other. There are other things out there, and we've got to explode them in nuclear fire. Get rid of those damn things. Demons, aliens, all the same.
The Frank subculture rears its ugly head. Okay, let's not go to nukes immediately. Okay, so while we're waiting for your calls, what's the next thing here, Frank? Should we dawdle and wait for a call, or should we just keep on trucking here? What do you think? How you
Keep on
feeling
trucking.
tonight?
There's too much good stuff out there. I'm feeling good. Let's
Okay,
open
good.
this. I don't know if you talked about it at the last show. I was away. NASA plans to open the ISS for business. Did we talk about this one?
Yes, we did. We did talk about this. It was a stream of conscious Michael Strange meandering show. So we did touch on that a little bit and spent some time. But what's the Frank take? So I can tell you what the Mike take is.
Oh, I've got a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
I have got a real good theory on this. But anyway, let's recap for people who missed the last show. Essentially, International Space Station, you can pay 35 grand to go up there for a day and then come back down. So you get a nice 8 hours in the space station for 35 grand. Seems like a good price. You know, that's I think that's within some people's means, although they say it's only going to happen a couple of times a year. So there's a waiting list. I don't know. That seems pretty cool. I'd do that for sure. What about you?
Yeah, no, when we talked about this the first time, we framed it in the context of NASA's going broke and they need 20 to 30 billion to go to the moon and they don't know where they're going to get it. But no, okay, if I had 35 grand to maybe spend 8 hours, yes. I think what the article we were looking at was something in the sense of like many millions, like 50 million. Because you have to, well, it's not just 30, it's not, because it can't be the 35 grand because that's just for the 8 hour stay or whatever. You actually have to pay for your launch costs and all kinds of other stuff. So I think that's one of those like wink wink as low as 35,000 a night, right? Not including costs is really what that is. But I think to me it's demeaning and it makes the entire space program look like a freaking joke to me. Like why would you need to raise money this way when we're butchering like people in third world countries for the diamond trade to keep prices high. And you know what I mean? Like it's like we control the economy with blood, and instead we're gonna instead charge rich people 35 grand a night plus expenses to go to the. I don't know, man. It's again insulting. I think a little bit in many ways to me. It's I think it's and again this goes back to what they're gonna ask from you and me. They're gonna be like, well, since we only got a couple billionaires to really jump on and go to the ISS for a day, we're going to need 20 billion more. So we're just going to raise your taxes. All right. Congratulations, guys. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And so it seems that there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on because if you remember, I think it was 3-4 months back, Elon Musk said something very similar. He's going to launch people up there. They're going to go around the dark side of the moon on a trip in one of his rockets, and they're going to come back. And I believe the first person who bid on that was a Japanese artist who was very wealthy. I can't remember his name. I couldn't pronounce it anyway. But yeah, he's paid money to SpaceX to take him on a space tour, and he's brought some guests with him. You recall that article?
Yeah, definitely. And this is where we're going, right? So you think of like the Wright brothers in 1906 or whatever it was when they first took the craft off the ground and started to fly. Okay, so of course it starts out what it is, and then it turns into a commercial thing because it always will. And so eventually, space flight will turn into a commercial thing. So I'm not making fun of that in any sense whatsoever. All right, but here's what I am cringing is that we have these. The ISS is it's not just like a United States thing. It's shared by the Russians. It's shared by the Europeans. And they send people, and it's you know what I mean? It's like renting out a room in a college dorm, I guess you would say. I don't know. It drives me nuts because we paid to put it up there. So, what is the point of this now? So it's literally every single person you send up there is a waste of time, a waste of scientific time that you could be using. It's a waste of time because that thing's in a decay in orbit and it's going to be in the ocean, and sometime in the next 10 or 15 years or something like that. It's a colossal waste of time if you can't overcharge and make an actual, let's say, profit large enough to build another one, to build the next one. You know what I mean? And are there enough rich people in the world to roll up there for millions? Because there are launch costs, Frank. It's a lot higher than you think. But anyway, yeah, it drives me nuts.
If I get this straight, you're questioning the motives of this. Why would they bring people up there? It can't be money. There's not enough people willing to spend it. That's what you're saying, is you're questioning the motives of why they're doing this, why they're taking people to space, why they're putting them away from our planet. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so not only that, it's not going to make you enough money to really do anything specific. 2, they're going to be up there and they're going to be in the way of people that are actually maybe, hopefully, trying to do science in space. And 3, then you got to pay to get them back safely, right? Like, the risk is astronomical, wink, wink. And I don't know. I don't know why you would do it. I don't know why you would do it, especially long before it's safe. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. You're on to me.
And you're also saying that the only people who are going to do it are these wealthy, powerful individuals who have a ton of money, a ton of influence, and are able to afford these launch costs. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course. Because you're damn right. I'm not going to save up my pennies and 10 years from now be like, hey, I got this many thousands. Send me there, right? No, it's not happening. Like the struggle is real down here on Earth.
Yeah, it definitely is. So here's where I got a theory on this, because I was thinking much the same as you. You've got these rich people and you're sending them to space. And why do it? What's the point? Well, let's just do a recap about all the crazy UFOs you see around the International Space Station. Open up this disclose screen. We're not alone. Incredible close-up of cigar UFO around the ISS, taken from the ISS camera. It's not someone inventing something. No Photoshop, no CGI. This is one of these people who watches that International Space Station feed all the time. Let's play this clip just as a reminder that there's UFOs and crazy stuff around there almost every day.
Okay, remind me. I'm going to find this, and we're going to do this. But we got a call that's been on for a few minutes here. My bad on that.
Oh, let's go to that.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to pull this up first, so I know where to go after this, and then we'll your caller. We got you in just a sec. Hang on, and let's see. Which one was it there, Frank? It was disclosed screen. Was it YouTube? Right? I think it was a YouTube video.
Yeah, YouTube.
Okay, let's see. Yep. Okay, got it. Got it up and ready to rock. All right, we're going to go to the caller now. And that looks like he wants to talk about the demon topic, which we were on just a few minutes ago. All right, let's do this. Let's test these phones. Luxor Sun Dragon from Twitch, what's happening? You're on Trouble Minds with Frank and Mike. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Perfect. It looks like you're piping out to stream. Can you hear Frank? Say something, Frank.
Hello, can you hear me?
Nope, can't hear Frank.
Fantastic. All right. go right ahead.
Well, actually, you know what? I got my headphones here. I'll hold the headphones in one hand, phone in the other, and then I can hear them.
Okay.
I kind of hear them. Anyways, I just wanted to call in because I left the comment in chat there. But there's a huge amount to say on this subject, especially if you start looking into. I'll just throw out a few researchers' names real quick, and then people that want to write those down and go do further investigation, they can. I highly recommend to learn more about kind of what's going on in the world and the symbolism and everything that kind of rules the world. I'd recommend listening to Bill Cooper's Mystery Babylon series. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to that. And Jordan Maxwell has some pretty interesting stuff too.
Okay, Bill Cooper, Jordan Maxwell.
So anyways,
I'm not familiar. But
yeah. So besides that, I was just going to say about the demons. How I said in the chat there, the MON, the MON word it has to do with the moon. So Monday is the moon's day, and then you go through all the other planets, Saturn's day, and all that stuff. And then you also have the demons always have a negative connotation, whereas I think the word was daimon or something like that, like Socrates used to have, that followed him around, which was actually his angel. I guess you could say that it was like his guardian angel that gave him advice and everything, according to Socrates himself. Now the demons, there's a lot of connections we can make here, but demons, the ones from the moon, the ones that fell from on high, which you could also easily say they came down from the sky if they fell from a higher place. And they're also known as the servants of Lucifer. And Lucifer is another way of saying the sun. So the sun, the light bringer.
You cut off. Lucifer the Lightbringer is where we were at. If you can hear me, you got cut off. I'm not sure. It's not us. It's not me this time. I promise it's not me. Okay. Okay. You're right. Lucifer the Lightbringer is where we're at.
So Lucifer the Lightbringer, he is going back to like the ancient Egyptian mysteries, you have in the morning, you have the sun, which is Horus, and then in the evening you have Osiris, which is the father. He changes into something else. So that's why you can have different aspects of the sun. So Lucifer can be seen as like a negative entity, but by some he's seen as a very positive entity because he brings the light of knowledge and understanding to mankind and everything like that. But if we continue on this chain of thought a little bit more, the demons are the followers of Lucifer. They're the ones that came down from the sky, and then they're the ones that serve the sun, and they're the sun worshippers. Which, in reality, the sun worshippers all through the ancient times, they never really worshipped the sun itself. They worshipped the thing that the sun represented, the energy, that certain type of energy of God. And so also in a way you could say that the demons are sun worshippers. And then you look around the world at all of these political powers, and if you do a little bit of digging, you can see a lot of things that point to the fact that they also I won't say worship the sun like it's their god, but they hold it in high reverence because of what the sun itself represents. So I guess in a way, a lot of the people that they do a lot of research and they say, oh, the demons are running the world or the demons are running the United States. It's not necessarily that demons are running the world. It's that the followers of Lucifer are running the world. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff to pick apart here with it, but at least that's just another way to look at it. Whenever there's having the same story that's told in 2 different ways or 100 different ways, and saying, oh well, the sun is we'll give it this name in this story, and then you switch over to another culture and another time frame, and then give it a completely different name. And when you go and you research the history of that culture, you think that you're reading a completely different story, completely different religion, but it's actually the same religion just being told again in a different way to a different people. You see what I'm saying with that?
Yeah. So it's again like the last time you called in. Great comments, great calls. Thank you for all that amazing information. I brought up the Anunnaki, right? It's the same sort of thing. It's so ancient, it's so far back there that it's permeated into all of the religions somehow, some way, which is kind of counterintuitive when you look at the way travel was back in the ancient world, is people couldn't really take this information because it would take there's no internet. You have to take libraries of this information, or literally like one guy who knows all of the things and send him across the world to spread this information. So it's it does line up like there's some sort of interconnectedness. And whether it's that demon bit or whether it's the Anunnaki with the Syrian stuff, I don't know, man. Like there's a lot here, and it's amazing to talk about. But yeah, yeah.
And I'll also throw this out, which it's helped me a huge amount in my research. Just watching the Bill Cooper's Mystery Babylon series, he has like 43 hours worth of stuff. He goes through, and just from there, that's like a little springboard into learning just so much more. But you can start to see what the ancient religions were about, what the ancient symbolism was. And then through anything, like when you watch a movie, you'll start to see, oh, this guy represents the sun, this represents the moon, this is the hero, this is the anti-hero. Kind of like the Jungian archetypes, the Carl Jung, how he had all of his different archetypes. It's actually, if you look at it, you can see all the archetypes playing out on screen, because the people that are making these movies, they know all about this ancient symbolism. The people that are making our TV shows, for the most part, the highest people up in the media that control the media. I'm sure if you do a little research, you can see that it's in the hands of maybe 10 to 20, 30 people somewhere in there that are at the highest levels of controlling basically everything that we see and read on TV and magazines, etc. And I just want to say that I totally forgot about Frank. So if he's talking to me, I still can't hear him. I set my headset down.
He's not, man. He knows that you can't hear.
Okay.
What we'll do is when we end this, we'll have Frank do his Frank take. He's taking diligent notes here and sending me images of the sun gods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything to round this up before we let you go here? We got to keep on trucking.
No, just I'd say anyone who, when they're not on troubled minds, of course, listening to your show, go over and it's on YouTube. Go to Bill Cooper Mystery Babylon, and it's like a school that takes you through how to view the mysteries of the world. And then once you see that, you'll start seeing it everywhere. You'll start seeing it pop up in movies. You'll start seeing it pop up in all the ancient religions. Any ancient religion you study, you'll start to know how to look at it and unfold it more. So I'd highly recommend that.
There you go.
And
Appreciate
that's
that.
all I got to say for tonight, I guess.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. That's Luxor Sundragon calling in from Twitch. If you haven't joined us, please, would you join us on Discord? Go to troubleminds.org, join the Discord there, Luxor Sundragon, because you've got a ton of information here, and you're a very like mind with a lot of people that have already joined us and talk about this thing 24/7, let's say. So I don't know, what's your takes on that, Frank? I got your sun god up here on the stream. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I think it's inane to assume that history, science, myth, they're all separate entities. They're all the same thing. I'm sure people were asking these same questions we're asking now, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. It's all the same. So if you research UFOs, you should also read some history, read some ancient Greek history, and also go and read a science publication about some new technology, because they're all related. And I think in part this compartmentalization of knowledge we have nowadays where, hey, you're a welder, you weld things. Hey, you're a television producer, you make funny sitcoms. This compartmentalization of knowledge. You're a mechanic, you fix cars. That never happened in the past. Everyone in the past knew about everything else because there was so little knowledge to be had. And this compartmentalization, I think we're losing information because a lot of this stuff is translatable to itself. It's all connected in some way. And so what he was saying there about Mithras, the sun god, and Mithraism and Lucifer, yeah, that was all out there. It was all predating Christianity. It's a cool topic to read about. And again, it all links up to this idea that we were worshiping the skies, worshiping space. Is that because they were aliens? Or is that because heaven is in space? Who knows? But I'm pretty sure it's all the same thing if you go back far enough.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you go back to those ancient roots of before written the written history of humanity, and there's a ton of really crazy stuff. Like if you go back, we talked about proto-humans and spirits and ancient spirits, and we've talked about all kinds of stuff on this show. If you're into that, go back and check it out. We've done, like sometimes you'll see one on artificial intelligence that we did that you may not want to listen to, no problem. But check out the old stuff, because we did do some stuff on this where we talked about ancient humans, spirits, and how sometimes, like now, we're trying to somehow frame the ancients in a modern lens, which doesn't make any sense, because we tend to think that they would be like us, or we tend to demean them like they would be not as smart as us. And I just don't think that's the case. So anyway, this is a tangent we could probably spin off for 10 hours, but it's one of those situations where if you go back far enough, there are so many roots that kind of tangle and end up being the same story that it's tough to discount, right? It's really one of those things that if you spend a bunch of time trying to say, well, no, this guy didn't travel there and this person didn't, like you can spend tons of time discounting it, but it's kind of obvious and in your face, so you have to work really hard. That's how obvious I think it is. Anyway, so there you go. So the phone lines work. You can't hear Frank, but if you want to call us, please do. Thank you, Luxor Sundragon from Twitch. 702-957-1037. Okay. Now on to your clip there, Frank, unless you got something else to add.
Yeah, let's recap. People are paying to go up into space, and it's only the rich, it's only the wealthy, and it's not really profitable. So why are they taking the rich and wealthy up to space? And you got to keep in mind that there's UFOs up by that ISS all the time. So let's play this clip. This is, again, just one of many. They see UFOs in that NASA feed all the time. Let's play the clip and then talk about it.
Okay, this is from Disclose Screen to Grim Reaper. Here we go, action.
With contact?
Contact and capture.
And
can kill the audio there, but you see what I'm seeing, right? Is there's this cigar-shaped object just floating out there, floating out. It's caught on the ISS camera as they're doing work, and it's there. And they see these things. They see glowing orbs. They see things zipping back and forth. We've covered them on the show many times, but there are UFOs by that ISS almost every day.
Yeah, and there's actually a guy that did go to the ISS back in the day. Are you aware of this, Frank? Like some millionaire did buy his way onto the ISS back in the, I think, either late 90s or early 2000s.
No, I didn't know that. Do you know the guy's name?
I'm just trying to think. It'll come to me shortly. Yeah, so somebody did. It was a millionaire. He did it through the Russians. They sent him up on a Russian rocket, and apparently they didn't allow him to look out the windows at certain times. He couldn't touch anything. He had to be escorted around, and he spent it was like $20 million or something to go up there in like I said, late 90s. I'm trying to remember his name. It'll come to me. It may come to me an hour from now, but it's come to me. Yeah, so somebody actually did. And so now this is curious, right? There's this, what is this? This is obviously not like a SpaceX rocket. This is, as far as we know, not some sort of NASA object. And there it goes. There, so it cut. Please stand by. The high-definition Earth viewing experiment is either switching cameras or we are experiencing a temporary loss of signal. And so that's this guy's point on this video here. So then they cut to this view of the Earth, and yeah. Damn, his name is on the tip of my tongue.
Dennis Tito.
Yes, Tito. Yeah, Dennis Tito. Thank you. And so he did. So they say because they wouldn't let him. Like I said, this has been done before, and he did go up there, and he complained that they wouldn't let him look at windows at certain times. He couldn't touch anything. He had to be escorted around, and all of the astronauts / cosmonauts / whoever was up there at the time were extremely annoyed by his presence. And like I said, whatever they're doing up there, it's going to slow them down by sending tourists, is my point, right? That's part that kind of back to the point. Yeah, so this has happened. And so he spent $20 million. The Russians sent him up on what's the name of that rocket? The Russian rocket. Anyway, look him up. What's the name again, Frank? His name? Tito?
Soyuz. Tito. Dennis Tito on the Soyuz rocket.
There you go. So it has happened before. And here we go again. I don't know. But so in this instance, we've seen this lots of times. Again, like Frank said, we've covered this several times on the show. It seems to keep happening where we see these clips of something that appears in the camera of a live stream, and then it cuts. Technical difficulties, and they cut to like a view of the Earth or like a previous recording loop or whatever they do, right? But what the hell was that? Like, that was very cigar-shaped, very much like you would describe a cigar-shaped UFO from like Project Blue Book, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. There's definitely things going on that they're not telling us. But what is actually going on that's so nefarious and maybe extraterrestrial? Is there some sort of link there? Yeah, I don't know.
I have a theory. So we got aliens, we got demons, the same thing. We've got nefarious intent, and we've got all these rich people, these powerful people going up into space, and there's seemingly no motive. So what could be the thread that ties all that together? This is just my crazy theory, but let's play this movie clip. Do you see this movie clip in here?
Maybe. Hold on, let's see.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, yeah.
1956. So let's play this. If you haven't seen this movie, it's one of the classics, but maybe this is what's going on. Let's just play it. Get a refresher. This is a movie recommendation if you've never seen this one.
1956 Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And action.
What's wrong?
Probably nothing. But we're not going in there until I'm sure it's safe. Slide over under the wheel and get out of here fast if anybody shows up looking for us.
Baby asleep yet, Sally?
Not yet, but she will be soon. And there'll be no more tears.
Shall I put this in her room?
Yes, in her playpen. No, wait. Maybe I'd better take it.
Why don't you go in, Miles? We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, you can kill that.
I'm gonna mute it, but keep it playing.
So these aliens, they invade a small town and they're replaced by the pod people grown in those pods to mimic the people in the town. And so in that clip, they're replacing a baby with a pod baby. And that was the thing you saw that person holding. So I don't know. Is that a crazy theory? They're sending all these rich people up to space and then they're going to replace them with something else entirely.
Oh, and then send them back as a some sort of a compromised being. Some sort of freak. You're freaking me out, man.
Hey, it could happen. You wanted a motive. You're questioning the motive. Why would they do this? It's not financially soluble. Doesn't make any sense. Why would they go up there? Well, there you go. They're going up there. They're not coming back down, but something else is.
Okay. I'm with you there. I'm not sure what to say about that. So again, taking Dr. David Jacobs into account and the nefarious alien activities that they're actually coming to get us, right? They're coming to take us down some way or the other. And it's not like a direct attack. It's a more of a subversive thing. And yeah, that creeps me out. So again, back to John Tito. Thank you for pulling that article. I'm going to put that up real quick. So he spent millions. The Russians allowed him to go up because, if that doesn't tell you how hard up the Russians are for money, I'm not sure what will. But he goes up to the ISS, and again, they don't let him see anything. He ends up in a like I said, we talked about this the last show a little bit. And if you go up to the ISS, think about this, Frank. Like if you're a millionaire and you want to have a luxury vacation, it's not the ISS, right? Because they're going to send you up there. You're going to be in these ridiculously confined spaces. You're going to eat jack shit for food. It's going to be steak dust or you know what I mean, something like that. And you're going to have to piss in a tube. It's not comfortable. It's not what a millionaire would spend to go on a vacation, you know what I mean? And so Kelly said in the chat in the last show, he said, nah, "It's my money, damn it. If I want to go into space, I want to go into space." And I agree with that 100%. But it's definitely not a luxury experience. You follow me on that?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not coming back down again. Something else is coming back down in your place. That's the only reasonable explanation I can come up with, is they're replacing the rich and powerful with alien entities, alien imposters. And it does seem crazy. It does seem insane. But let's say there are UFOs here. Let's say there are aliens here. They're abducting people. Jacob said, what a good way to do it. What a good way to do it. All these rich people, send them up there, and then something else comes down in their place. They slowly take over the world by replacing the population. That is the plot of The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You should watch it. It's a great movie, and it could be true. I don't know. How would you tell? DNA test before they come up and before they come back down again? That could be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember those two twins? There were those two twins in space, and they said that one went up, and when he came back down, his DNA was different than his twins. I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah, that's right. There was some sort of they said it was like the sun, the radiation from the sun, like baking his DNA or some business like that. Yeah, and so one guy went up, one guy stayed here. So it's like the modern day twins paradox, right? So the original twins paradox was the time travel bit. You send one close to the black hole, one stays on Earth. By the time he gets back, 10 generations have passed, whatever. This is actually one stays on Earth, one goes there, gets baked by radiation, comes back, and his DNA is changed. Maybe you're onto something. I hate to say it, Frank, but maybe you're onto something.
Yeah, let's take the fact that let's just assume that aliens are real. They're here. They want to take the world over. If I were an alien, that's what I'd do. So there you go.
What are you trying to tell us, Frank? Are you trying to tell me something right now? Okay, all right. So we're not going to take over the world. It's not the way. Okay. So there you go. Dennis Tito is something to look into. Maybe we could do him in a further show there. But interesting, right? And I think the most important point there is that let's take for example one of the conspiracy type billionaires. Okay, let's just pull a name out at random from a hat. Let's say George Soros. Let's say if he paid to go to the ISS, right, and then somehow was swapped.
Wait. That guy's already an alien. He doesn't need to go up. He's already an alien. You got someone else.
Okay. Somebody else. Let's say Richard Branson. Let's say, send him up there. And if they do some sort of a mind meld or mind control or some sort of alien infestation into his body, like the black oil from the X-Files, right? Like this type of thing. And then they send him back, right? Think about it. Like, I think you're onto something in this sense, that these people come back and they control so much power already, right? But it's a, kind of more of a like non-military benign power, seemingly, but can be used for nefarious purposes, right? Because it's so many billions of resources. You see what I'm saying? I think you're onto something, man. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, or either that or just a secure place to have a briefing. You can't really have a briefing here on Earth. You got crazy microphones that can hear you through windows. You got spy cameras, everything. You got people who are willing to sell you out, no problem. But up there on the space station, I think that's as secure as you can get. So there's billionaires come up and they say, hey, let's have a meeting with these aliens and let's work out some business deals to sell out the human population. You never know.
You never know. We got a question here randomly from chat. I want to posit this to you, Frank. Dave on Facebook, what's up, says, were you born on a Thursday, Frank? I'm not sure what that means, but I think they're trying to say something about you, Frank. I don't know what.
I don't know. I'm looking up the meaning of that. What does that mean? Born on a Thursday. You are a generous person with a jovial disposition towards life and people. Nope, wasn't born on a Thursday.
What's up, Matt? Hello from Crossville, Tennessee. Hello from Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are live. And if you want to call us, 702-957-1037. If you want the phone number, because I say it really fast, go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. You can find the Discord link. Click the Discord link. Get on here, join us on the show. What do you think about the show? What do you think about the topic tonight? What do you think about Frank being back? What do you think about all the things we're talking about Dennis Tito and the ISS and paying people to taking money from billionaires to go up there? Like, what the hell's going on here? What do you think about the Anunnaki and the sun gods? What was that? What was the term there? Mithras, right? We're all over the place here tonight. So, what do you think about this stuff? And if you want to be on the show, that's how to do it. 702-957. I'll say it slow this time. 702-957-1037. Give us a call. And actually, if you're listening to this on our archive, oh shit, we have a couple of voicemails, Frank. Maybe I should pull those up and play those a little later. So if you are listening to this on an archive and want to call us with a thought, you can leave a message. So if we're not live and online, call that phone number, 702-957-1037. You can leave us a message and we'll play it on a future show. And maybe that future show is tonight, because we have a couple that are cooking, I think, that we should be able to play. so yeah, there we go. And, yeah. Whoa. Breathless tonight, Frank. I'm out of beer.
Let's take a break. Let's have a little palate cleanser. Let's watch a UFO video. I saw this. It popped up in the circles today. Spinning UFO in Mexico City ejects dozens of spheres. Now, that sounds pretty crazy. I had never seen something like this before. A spinning UFO ejecting dozens of spheres. And the title's accurate. There's a UFO, and it ejects dozens of spheres into the sky. Let's play this. Is this a military aircraft putting out drones? What is this? Let's play it. Go get your beer. I need to take a quick break, too. But, yeah, this is really compelling.
Okay, we're doing this. And here we go. Action. This is a spinning UFO in Mexico ejects dozens of spheres. Spheres. I said spheres. Spheres. Here we go. Action. really like good music, but this music is a little bit. Okay, so this thing is actually spinning in the air and spitting out spheres. You guys see this? You guys, I'm gonna link this. You can check it out.
Yeah. And two of them too. Those were two separate occasions. I think the same date, but there were two different occasions where it happened. What's that about? Are they birthing things? Remember those anomalous infrared-only entities they detected in the 1920s? These huge spheres in the air that, I forget the guy's name, but he could only see them with infrared. Is this some kind of organic UFO? Is this giving birth in the sky? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be underneath it. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, same here.
It's the afterbirth comes.
How did we get here, Frank? Oh boy, yeah. Okay, so there you go. I linked it if you guys want to check that out in full screen glory later on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. It's again, it fits into the theme of what the hell's going on in this world, right? This all can't be fake. Like think about it this way, right? If you line all of the UFO stuff up, Project Blue Book, the government, researching these things in black projects, black budget projects for decades and decades and decades. And now we have the History Channel and Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge, from Blink-182. Like, what is this? I don't know. It seems like, okay, so I've said previously that the Mueller report and Russian collusion was like probably one of the greatest psyops ever run in the history of psyops, right? It was like, tell you the wrong thing, tell you the wrong thing, tell you the wrong thing, make you believe the wrong thing, tell you the wrong thing, make you believe the wrong thing. But here we are. Now, maybe the UFO thing, maybe one-ups it. If they're really lying to us all of this time, doesn't that seem so ridiculously unlikely? Since like the 50s or the 40s or even the 30s or whatever it was. Like, are they just lying to us? Is this like a multi-generational psyop? You follow what I'm saying, Frank? It doesn't make sense, right? It takes too much people getting together for a very long time to make this fake. This is not fake.
Yeah, I can imagine some psyops, and I've imagined a few, but nothing that can span generations and multiple countries all over the world. It's just not possible. I don't think it's. So again, you may be watching the show thinking, "Oh, we don't think UFOs are real," or we make fun of them. I think To the Stars Academy and Tom DeLonge and Lou Elizondo, I think they're full of it, in my opinion. But I think UFOs are definitely out there. I think they're definitely real. And stuff like this. What is this? It's something. It's nothing we have. Is this the only thing I could liken this to is some kind of drone carrier? A drone flies up in the sky and then all the little baby drones fly away from it. Maybe that's true. This was in 2009, though. I don't think they had that kind of technology back then. I don't know. Or is this, an interdimensional aircraft carrier? An alien mothership comes here, zips in, spits out all these UFOs, and then zips away. So all the UFOs, they can't transit dimensions, but this main one, it's able to. I have no idea. But I don't think this is fake. I don't think all of it can be fake. I hesitate to say billions, but there's probably millions of UFO videos out there. I think that's a good estimate. Millions, I can definitely see that. If even one of them is real, well, we're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think millions is a good estimate, and that's probably what's available. Like we said, with this is one of the suspicious things about going back to Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge. If they have 3, right? Like I said, where's the terabytes? Where's the petaflops of data that the government is holding back? If they've got 3 of these, they've got 3,000 of these. If they got 3,000, they've got 30,000. So it's this is real. This is a real thing. And what it is, I don't know. Again, we don't bring you answers. We bring you the questions, because the questions are what's the important part, because you don't get to the right answer without asking the right question. So that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. It's there's a ton here. There's so much, right? This is a year. Like, what is this? So we started April of last year, Frank. Like April 7th or so. So this is like a year and how many months? A few months now. And the information just continues. Like if you had to pluck something brand new every single time you did a show, and we have done that. We've done some Bigfoots and we've done some other stuff. Speaking of Bigfoots, we can get to Bigfoot, right, Frank? But we've done some Bigfoots and some other things from the past. But if you only plucked new information and were only kind of like Secure Team or maybe a Third Phase, like these guys on YouTube, if you only went after like brand new, or that one guy, what was that guy, Refar, what was his name there? If you only did that, the Grim Refar.
That's a good channel, by the way. It's a really good channel. It sounds full of it, but it's pretty good. I like it.
He's called that. I did some going back into his depths of his channel a while back, and so he calls himself that because he fancies himself a rapper. So if you want some Grim Reefer type UFO rap, there you go. Now you know where to find it. But you get the point, right? We're in this situation where this stuff is there's such a huge amount of information that this can't be faked. You just can't fake it. You cannot call this many people insane and just mass hallucination or whatever they tried to write it off as in Project Blue Book. Anyway, we're preaching to the choir. Let's see if we got some comments. We are live, so if you guys want to be on the show, 702-957-1037. I'm going to reset the thing here. Can you hear yourself, Frank? I can hear myself. Sorry, mess.
No, I sound perfectly silent.
All right, perfect. All right, now reset. We're back. Okay, so if that's what you want to do. If you want to call us, 702-957-1037. We are back, and I can hear myself still, but who cares? John says we are in trouble, Frank. There you go. There you go, Frank. We're in trouble. Samantha, what's happening? It says, if the government releases tech, that means they already had it for some time, and now have something better they won't tell us about. And that's a little bit terrifying. That's a good point. That's a fantastic point. And because if we're starting to see these things, they might be government tests, right? What's up, Tamron? Thanks for showing up. And, yeah, we got a couple more comments here. Dragon Lord 1989-6, you're from another dimension, I guess, said, one night I was at work, saw this flash of purple in the sky, was crazy, and then followed us on Mixer. Luxor's Sun Dragon on Twitch says, I think there's a Brad Pitt movie where the exact thing happened. This is a while back, but he said he went into space and some light entered into his eye and he came back down an alien. Back to the ISS. Then he tried to impregnate his wife. Remember that? What was that?
That was the astronaut's wife, maybe, or something like that. The astronaut's wife. Yeah, that's a good point. You see this in movies all the time. They take something that. Okay, here's my theory. Here's my theory about movies. They take crazy scenarios that are actually happening, and then they make a movie about them. And when you make a movie about them, what happens is that all the search traffic, all the talk around the water cooler is then redirected from that crazy thing that happened initially and focused in on the fictional movie, right? And we've seen that happen with Bigfoot, with UFOs. We've seen it happen with ghosts, everything. So when you now search for this crazy event that happened, now you're looking at the movie. You're looking at the fictional production. The history about the real thing that happened, that's lost to the sands of time, so to speak. I think that's what they're happening. People go up into space, they lose their minds, they get brainwashed, they get replaced, something like that. And now the conversation is, no, that's not happening. That was a fictional movie. What are you talking about? I don't think so. I think they're doing that on purpose to distract us from the original stories.
Yeah. So back to we talked about this. We've talked about this several times. It's like the propaganda effect, right? So we're kind of in a unique part of history where. In the old days, you had to read books to actually learn history. But now you can go see like a 2-hour movie and learn all you need to know about World War II, for instance, or Pearl Harbor or whatever it is, right? And so we end up in this situation where our youth, right, our children are learning history through the mass media. And unfortunately, as you are aware, if you're here listening to us at any capacity, whether it's on a live stream, whether you're listening to an archive or the podcast, whatever, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you're already aware of this, that they're trying to spin this history politically one way or the other. It's a subtle brainwashing. And like Frank said a long time ago, I'll badly paraphrase. Whoa, see what I did there? Paraphrase. And Frank can elaborate, but he said that brainwashing doesn't happen in big chunks. They chip away at you in tiny pieces, right? I'm pretty sure you said that in one of those maybe the MK Ultra episode.
Yeah, it's such a meme to think that someone abducts you in their truck and then their black van. They bring you to a facility and then overnight you've changed your mind, you've changed everything you think, you're a completely different person. You know, that's nonsense. It's got to happen over time. It's got to happen by death of 1,000 cuts is how they do it. And they can easily brainwash you just by putting stuff in the media. If they tell you, again, my favorite example here, if they tell you trees are blue and the sky is green, you grow up learning that trees are green, or trees are blue and the sky is green over and over and over again, you're going to believe that. There's no escaping it. You're going to believe that that's true, even though it's the complete opposite of reality, just because that's the only thing you've ever been told.
Yeah, and here we are, kind of reminiscing about the old days when you actually had to read a book. And we talked about this, too, with books, right? They were static. You wrote a book, it gets printed. They can update, but once you have that book, it ends up in your library. And that information is static. And so whereas science may move forward, there was a time where that information was good. And the information may still be good. And now we're told that information source is Wikipedia, right? Or factcheck.org, or places like this. And of course, what do you think? That information changes daily even. They can redact it. They can spin it. I got a dog that has to go out. Or whatever they do with it. Like, you cannot pull that book out of your library anymore and say, okay, well, this said A, B, C, right? So when you read it now on Wikipedia, because that's where the kids go, or they go to the movies, or to Hollywood, or to Netflix, wherever they go, ABC is now A, B, and there's no C. See what's happening here? Do you see what's happening here? Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly. That's definitely ugly. We got about 15, 20 minutes. You want to get into Bigfoot or something else, Frank?
Yeah, we'll get into Bigfoot. I think that's a symptom of what we're seeing now, though. For years and years and years, if you believed in UFOs, if you saw a UFO, you were batshit insane. You were a crazy person. We've heard that time and time again. All the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, if you saw UFOs and you talked about it in public, you were a crazy person. So the lesson to take away from that is there are no UFOs. You can't talk about them. They're not real. It's fake. It's just people making stuff up, swamp gas, and so on and so forth. And that was the prevailing narrative for 40, 50 years, wasn't it? That UFOs are all fake, and they're not crazy, they're not real. Now they're coming out and saying UFOs are real. It's in the New York Times. It's in the Washington Post. Trump is talking about it. And no one believes it, right? No one believes a damn word of it because of this brainwashing for the past 30, 40, 50 years. You can't escape that. You can't go against that because that's what you were raised knowing. And so, yeah, of course, us here, because we're crazy people, we don't believe in any of that. But the normal people out there, they won't take this seriously because they've been told for such a long time that it's not real. So there's brainwashing in real time, and we can see it happening.
I agree. And so not only that, so think about it this way. If you're listening to this show, you know that we, in some capacity, believe that UFOs are real. We, in some capacity, believe that there's probably entities either interdimensional or galactic that are here somehow, some way, right? One way or the other, right? Like you can parse it, you can slice it, but the thing is, there's so many ways to think about it. And you're here with sympathetics that say, hey, this is probably a thing. However, we're raising our eyebrow at the official story, which is the History Channel, Lou Elizondo, Tom DeLonge, the government, right? So even though we're like, wait a minute, something is here, the story they're trying to tell us smells terrible. And yeah, anyway, there we go. We got Bigfoot, Frank. I think we made the point 10 times now.
I want to make the point one more time. Okay, we'll move on to Bigfoot. We've heard enough about that. Let's open up Fox News.
Make the point, Frank. Tell me Fox News, I'll find it, and you make it.
Oh yeah, I was going to say we got to make fun of China. We haven't done that this show. I was watching a show about Chinese teaching, like people go over to teach English in China or something like that. And apparently they teach Chinese children that Japanese people are the devil. They teach literally in class, they teach Chinese people to hate Japanese people. They do it. They say Japanese people will come and steal all your money. They'll rape you. They'll kill your family. They'll take your land from you. Never trust Japanese people. And so you're seeing that now as all these children, this is as a result of this Mao era. Now these people are coming up, these Chinese people who actually legitimately hate Japanese people because that's what they were taught in school their entire lives. It's crazy. I don't know if you ever watch it, but you can see YouTube clips and Yoku clips, which is the Japanese YouTube. Just pure blatant racism, because that's what they were taught their entire lives. So to say propaganda isn't real and you can't convince people of things that aren't true, it's nonsense, because this is a real thing. Blatant racism being taught in schools, and they buy it and they believe it, and the world's changing because of it. It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy, and I won't. I'll bring it up, but I won't get into it. But another example of that would be Palestine and Israel. So that's a can of worms that will go for 1,000 more years. But it's one of those situations where you dig in and you see the propaganda and you feel like you got punched in the stomach, right? And then you have to look at the counter propaganda and get punched in the stomach again, and then you're like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, crazy stuff, man. A crazy world we live in. And again, the purpose of the show, because you can't look at one source and say, okay, this is my reality. Because if you do that, somebody else, like Luxor Sundragon on Twitch said, there's 10, 12, 15, 30 people that are ruling that reality through your media, through the algorithms, through the technocracy. And it shouldn't be allowed. So, yeah, again, preaching to the choir. If you're here to listen to us and you lasted this long, you already know this. Okay, so anyway, let's go to Bigfoot, Frank. Fox News.
Yeah, open up this Fox. The video isn't relevant. Don't play that. Bigfoot has a sweet tooth. North Carolina woman says legendary creature likes candies and cookies. So this lady, she keeps seeing Bigfoot. And so she started putting out treats for it. Mostly like candy, cookies. They love peanut brittle, chocolate, peanut butter sandwiches. They don't like apples or bananas, though. And so we've talked about Bigfoot on the show many times. And yeah, I know some of you are rolling your eyes, but this lady has apparently tamed a Bigfoot. And there are stories like this. This isn't the only one. And this thing keeps coming back for these candies, cookies, and sugary treats. I think this is pretty cool. Now, the question is she going to hire a team of people to capture this thing? Because that's what I would do. I'm sure that's what you would do. You've baited it in. You've set the trap. This thing's coming back, keeps wanting food. The next time it comes back, though, a bunch of people are going to rappel down from the trees with guns, right?
Nets. No, I wouldn't even go that far. I would just set up a nice, beautiful ring of infrared cameras, and I would catch this mofo day or night when he came to get my cookies. And again, now this is the problem, right? I think I'm swatting at your problem here, Frank. Is that we get this, right? This is from Fox News. This is published 3 days ago. This is current and relevant news, right? Wink, wink. No matter what you believe, if you think Bigfoot exists, you think he doesn't, you think he's a demon, you think he's an alien, you think he's interdimensional, you think he's ultra-dimensional, you think he's from intergalactic, it doesn't matter, right? Because if we want evidence of this, and this is even a slice of true, even 2.5% true, right? That's a tiny thing. It would be easy to find evidence at this point. So let's find the evidence. Are you guessing or betting that this will follow up? Fox News will follow up on this?
No, of course not. But there is some real. So this article, it's very tongue in cheek. It's making fun of the whole thing. But there's a video that goes into a little bit more detail. So let's play that. This can't be real. WCNC Shelby woman says she's seen Sasquatch, and she actually took some castings of the prints because again, she's feeding it in her yard. So let's play this. And see some of these castings and see if there's any real evidence to be concerned about.
Okay, let's have a look.
A mystery tonight in North Carolina in the forest. A local woman says she is seeing something very strange, something that she can't explain. NBC Charlotte's Xavier Walton just wrapped up an interview with that woman. He joins us now with her story.
Slideshow.
Vicky Cook.
Was it went in front of my camera?
Well, she's still scratching her head.
Sometimes I said, this can't be real.
Her video, well, it's grainy.
At least 7 or 8.
But her conscience is clear.
Screamed, I didn't know what it was, but that thing was tall.
She says the Sasquatch sighting started back in March.
There's one, there's another one.
Footprints are Vicky's proof.
I think I've counted about 8 different size prints. A 16-inch plaster cast. Maybe a juvenile, but look how long it is. That's a big print.
Coming through there.
From here, there.
And then going back.
Through that hole there. And it's no bears. I already been through all that.
Are you sure it's not any bears?
There's no bears.
For centuries now, trackers have been trying to trap the elusive creature. John Bruner documents sightings across the country and runs the Bigfoot 911 Facebook page.
It was huge. It was on two legs. It was bipedal. The hair on the head and the body was real stringy and matted. There was no hair on the face, and the nose was flat.
And right now it's showing all the pictures I've taken.
Back to Vicky.
Well, I take them things mostly like candy, and
she says she doesn't want her neighbors going hungry.
They love peanut brittle. They're not too crazy. They don't like apples and bananas. I don't know if it makes them.
What's their favorite?
The candy.
In Cleveland County, I'm Xavier Walton for NBC Charlotte.
It's okay. So if I was the uninitiated and with no other evidence, like the huge cast of those footprints, which were 12, 13, 14 inches long, which is a gigantic foot, I would say that they were, the local children coming to get candy, like Halloween every night. Except, it's not as easy as that, is it?
Yeah, so if you read that Fox News story, just the text, you're like, come on now, this isn't real, this is a joke. But now she's got videos, she's got prints, and they keep coming back. And they like her candy, apparently. So I'm telling you, like, let's round up a posse, let's hide them on top of the roof, and let's shoot this damn thing and get it. Like, why is no one suggesting this? It should be done. It really should be done. This sounds like I'm joking, it sounds like I'm making, but let's answer the question. If this thing keeps coming back here, let's get it. Let's capture it, or let's just kill it, because then we'll have a body.
Let's get it. Get it, Frank. Get it. No. Okay. So for those of you environmentally conscious folks out there that are into the Beyond Burger and think that killing animals for sport or for food is unnecessary, let's say we just put up some infrared cameras and get some actually good high-def images. But okay, there are options. We get options here, right? I'm with you though, Frank. I kind of wink want to shoot this mofo. But yeah, those casts, right? So what is she doing? Like, okay, so think about how difficult it would be to go out and spend your time and dig those holes to look like giant feet, right? In a successive footprint style thing, like it's compelling enough for me without seeing additional information to be like, okay, maybe there's something here, right? That would be a ton of work. And of course, people have hoaxed before and people will hoax again, but, right? Like, I think we got something maybe to look at here.
Yeah, we do. Now, the reason I brought this up, again, like put some poison in the candy, put a tracking device in the candy, do something. Anyway, the reason I brought this up is because recently it was released to the public that the FBI tested Bigfoot hair and actually spent some time investigating Bigfoot, believe it or not. Do you believe that?
That the FBI investigated Bigfoot? Spoiler alert, I do know that they have. So, otherwise I would tell you no, definitely not, Frank. Why would they do that? What a waste of time.
Yeah. So the leaked, or not the leaked documents, but the officially released investigations into Bigfoot, much like Project Blue Book, those types of things, they actually investigated Bigfoot. They took hair samples, they analyzed them. They said they actually didn't find Bigfoot, FYI, but they said it was a deer from the hair samples. Anyway, we can pull up this document and see that they're actually taking this seriously. They're taking it seriously enough to investigate it. So pull open the vault.fbi.gov and laboratory examinations and inquiries concerning the Bigfoot Information Center and the exhibition of the Dalles, Oregon. It's kind of hard to read there. But anyway, you see the documents. So they were sent a sample. You click through this. They investigated it, and they're taking it seriously. They had newspaper clippings, DNA testings. They sent people out to look for it. They looked at casts. Here you go. It's on the FBI website. This is pretty crazy. So Bigfoot's a joke, right? It's so crazy. Well, why are they wasting their time looking for it? And again, look at all these. I love when you look at these documents, you see all the signing authorities. You see mailed to this person on this date, and you see the footnotes that people write in the margins. It's pretty crazy to read through this.
And this is right on the FBI site. So I did link this if you guys want to check it out, but this is an actual FBI investigation into Bigfoot. Now, look at that. What the hell? Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. And now, okay. So, and they do take these news sources from the mainstream, of course, just like this Fox News bit, right? This might end up in this file eventually, but we'll never know because, well, we might know 5 or 10 years from now because the way they do these things is they add them and investigate them, and then they determine one way or the other, and then what do they do with it? It just sits in like the sleeper file until somebody like John Greenwald Jr. finds it, or until it finally hits the FBI website like this did, this is from December 15, 1976. That's a very long time ago. So, yeah, I don't know. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, I do like the, like you said, the stuff in the margins there. They write in notes and jeez, people.
Yeah, go to page 21 and you'll actually see a scanned picture of the hair. And yeah, you can see it. They measured it. They put it there. So it is pretty interesting. But the point of this is that behind the scenes, without your knowledge, they're taking these things seriously. They're taking ghosts seriously. They're taking Bigfoot seriously. They're taking UFOs seriously. Like, again, AATIP was this black program, but no one talked about it. Now it's in the public. Same thing with these Bigfoot analyses. They were going on in the background. No one knew about it. No one talked about it, but it was happening. So you have to wonder, does the government know more than they let on? Do they know these things are real, or do they suspect they're real? Like, at least they're looking into it. That's good, but we don't get to know about it. That's the curious thing. So what else are they investigating that will forever be locked behind classifications and red tape and all this? There could be things that we don't even realize. You know, we think of ghost, Bigfoot, witches and goblins and all this, but what if there's something completely foreign, something completely unknown that they're looking into? We just haven't got wind of it yet. I can easily see something like that happening, like tentacle monsters from Saturn, or, you know, just something crazy that they're seriously considering, but we'll never know about.
Yeah, and again, straight from the FBI website, I did see that John Greenwald Jr. from the Black Vault, he also released some Bigfoot stuff recently. This particular thing, I believe, he actually got some other information. So just like Frank said, this stuff is real. Like, if the government takes it seriously, in one capacity or another, right? You don't investigate something that's, you know, like let's say Tinkerbell, right? We're not going to put a bunch of files together and put them on the FBI and go investigate Tinkerbell, right? We have actual evidence here that's worth looking into. And so what does that mean? It means an investigation is sprung. And when that happens, you have evidence. And look at the evidence here. Like, again, how does that make you feel? And how does it make you feel that it doesn't hit the mainstream media? Like, how are they slipping this stuff by? They're kind of sweeping it under the carpet. Like, once again, it's sort of back to the beginning of this entire conversation. Is that it's not that science is bad. Science is good. Science is a good thing. Science progresses things. It takes people from the Stone Age to the Space Age. Okay? Except when you politicize it, when you spin it, when you change information, when you try and cover up information, when you try and roll a narrative that's been in place for 50 years that you will not change, that you will not budge on, despite the evidence that have rolled out since then. It just this is the type of thing that makes us suspicious of the government. This is the type of thing that makes us suspicious of science and the technocracy and major corporations. It's like the powers that be are telling us what they want us to believe. And again, if you're not suspicious of that by watching it, I think what do you think, Frank? Like, given like let's again, for lack of a better term, let's call somebody a normie. And how long do you think most people could watch, let's say Fox News or let's say CNN? Like, directly. Like, you know, for most 3 or 4 nights a week, we're watching Don Lemon and Jake Tapper and what's his face, Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham, and they're just watching this stuff constantly. Like, how long do you think it takes for like a regular mind to click and be like, wait a minute, like what the hell is actually going on here? Like, it seems like we get the same narrative over and over and over again. And like I've said 1,000 times, I'll say it again. If they're telling you 10 things 24 hours a day, and this is a freaking world of billions of people, like, isn't that not suspicious in and of itself? I don't know. How long do you think? How long do you think it take the normal person?
It's hard to tell. I can't even watch that. Well, actually, I'll take that back. Let me tell you a story. I was kind of into the whole news. I believed the news. I trusted the news for a long time. I always liked conspiracies. I always liked UFOs, but I would listen to the news and actually think they were telling the truth. Until that story, this is what kind of blew it open for me. Until that story about Ahmed the Clock Boy. You remember that one? where this kid, he makes a clock, he takes him to school, and then they arrest him because he's bringing a bomb to school. He also happened to be brown. So they said this poor inventor kid, he was a terrorist. Remember that story? I was outraged when that happened.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And then it comes out later on that his sister has made bomb threats. His dad is running for office and he wants publicity. They told this kid that he couldn't bring the clock in and he brought it in anyway, and a bunch of stuff. And they left all those details out. But that blew my mind. I was outraged for this kid. I was like, good for you, Obama, bringing him to the White House. What a good thing. And then the details trickled out. And it kind of blew my mind that they were lying to us out in the open. And of course, anyway, but that, you're right, is that if you're watching the news, you can see these things. You can see them all the time, like that story I just related. But people don't for some reason. I don't get it. Like, people never make those connections, never look into more details. And they just keep spoon feeding themselves this narrative they get over and over. It doesn't make sense to me. So to answer your question, for me anyway, not very long. It took me hardly any time to get out of it.
That's because you're a smart guy. But again, so there's a sliding scale of smart people and less smart people and more smart people. So I don't know. I think that's the problem, right? So the media knows this, and they aim, right? It's like they aim for, like, all right, the average person, it would take them this many days, right? So they aim their content at the people that never want to break out. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, so yeah, Dale, what's up? Says we're in our own world. He says, call us, man. Give us a call, 702-957-1037. We got a couple minutes left if you want to squeeze in here and tell us your thoughts on the show. Say hi to Frank or Mike. Say hi to the people that are out there listening. And whatever. Refute us. Tell us we're full of shit. Because, again, without being held accountable, anybody out there is just running their mouth. And that includes us. All right? And so, one more time. I've said this many times. I'll say it many more times. To be transparent is easy. We have a phone number up. We're streaming live. You can call us. You can jump on the Discord. You can suggest shows. If you want to hear something about, I don't know, Alpha Centauri. You want to hear something about the latest Bigfoot news. You want to hear something about the possible false flag thing that happened in the tankers in Iran with the explosions. Whatever. You can join our Discord and you can tell us, hey, let's talk about these things. These are important to me. Can you do that to Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Sky News, any of these clowns? Can you do it to any of them? Of course not, because they don't want transparency. We want you guys to call us and tell us we're full of shit. Would somebody please call me and tell me that, just for the sake of lols? I mean, we've had some trolls, not many, but you learn by being challenged, and that's part of the point. And Frank is great. But we need to be challenged here. That's the point. And that's why we do it live. That's why we have phone lines open. So call us. 702-957-1037. A couple more minutes if you want to squeeze in. Join the Discord. If you don't want to be on the show but want to continue the conversation 24 hours a day, join the Discord. Go to troubleminds.org. You can find the phone number. Leave us a message. Oh, yeah. Let me pull these messages up. Say something, Frank. We got a call coming in, actually. So I'm going to pull these messages up, maybe, if I can find them. Actually, maybe I can't live here. Okay, so
yeah, we can do that next time. There's a Siberia story. Before we end the show, we got to cover this story because this is incredibly interesting to me. So let's take the phone call and let's do the story because this Siberia story is pretty great.
Okay, sounds good. They're still screening. Give it another few seconds here. Just a few seconds. Don't mind us if you're waiting. Here, I'll give you something to look at. What we're watching is, what is this planet? This is Capitan B. Capteyn B is the planet we're watching on the stream tonight. So if you're curious on what that actually looks like, that's the, let's say, artist rendition of what that might be. So there it is. And
that's an important thing to add is that we look at the space program you have there and like, oh my God, that planet's purple. This one's blue and this one has orange clouds. No, it's all made up. They don't really know that. They can tell kind of by the amount of light it emits and what frequency it is and so on and so forth. But just like that Oumuamua picture that circulated around for ages, they just make this shit up. It's not real. Like,
Yeah.
Of course, you more easily think that with this program you're using, but stuff like Oumuamua, where they made that artist representation, it's all fake. Like, don't trust it for a second.
Yeah, exactly. It's all simulated space, right? Data is data, and artist rendition is completely separate from that. So there we go. Larry, what's up? Operation Mockingbird, MSN is messing with your brain. Cut the cable. There you go. Yeah, and that's an important point to make. So if you hate this crap that they're feeding you 24 hours a day, the call dropped. So if you for whatever reason I didn't hang up on you. I promise. I didn't touch anything. But if you want to call back, please call back, and we'll put you on. Larry says cut the cable, cut the cord. If you hate that the technocracy, the major corporations are feeding you the same crap every day. Trap, crap every day. What do you get? Well, it's your fault for watching it. It's your fault for paying for it. Because guess what? If nobody paid for it, nobody would see it, and they would quit doing it. They would have to change their business model. Anyway, all right. So a couple more comments.
That's happening too.
That's
kind of happening now, right? They're firing journalists left and right, and people are starting to wake up and not pay attention to it. More and more people are going to these independent commentators like that Tim Pool guy on YouTube and Joe Rogan and all these different people to get their news, because they know that the people in the New York Times and the Washington Post are just full of shit.
Exactly, they're full of shit, and that's okay. The call's coming back. We'll get to you in just a sec if you're there. Robert on Facebook says the Yetis are pets of the aliens. The aliens open their spaceship door to let the Yetis run out and into the woods to do its business, just like we let our pets out to do theirs. There you go. There's a one take. I like the take. That's a hot take. Thank you, Robert. Let's see. And Sherry says they let their babies out to play. Okay, fair enough. Giovanni, what's up? Everything else for reals just wants to kill you. I suppose scary stories don't count. Well, I don't know. I'll be spinning scary stories over here. I'm not so sure. We talk about them, but okay, here we go. We're going to take this call. They are up, and here we go. Action. You were on Troubled Minds with Frank and Mike. Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Tyler. Sorry, I followed you guys a long time ago, but I don't get on Facebook too much. Kind of wanted to see your guys' opinion on Trump's little Space Force thing he's got going on. You know, everyone's kind of making fun of him for it. I kind of personally think, because he knows that, our government knows there's something else out there that could be a lot more dangerous. And, they're trying to prepare for it, but everyone's just making fun of him, just like they were making fun of people who saw UFOs back in the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get you guys' opinion on it.
Okay, so Space Force is interesting. We did a show, it was quite a while back, when he kind of first announced the Space Force bit. And the parallel that we tried to make, and I still kind of stand by that, was, I don't know if you remember, Oumuamua kind of was flying into, this was like probably September or October of, I want to say 2016 is when this happened. Or, no, was it 2017. And then so 2018, it was like maybe March, April, May-ish, somewhere in that range, that Trump came out and actually announced the Space Force. And we made the connection of, okay, so this Oumuamua thing comes from out of our actual, solar system. Right, it flies by, it kind of dips in, looks at the sun, looks at the Earth, and then flies out of the solar system on an elliptical orbit. And then a couple, 3 months later, Donald Trump announces the Space Force, and they're actually trying to get this done. Yeah, I don't know. Like we've had there's a lot of speculation here, of course, because again, lack of transparency, right, Frank? Always lack of transparency here. So if we knew
my biggest thing is that they always say that history repeats itself. And I think that's kind of what's happening here is, everyone's making fun of him, and everyone's making fun of even people who say they still see aliens, much like back in the day, where they diagnosed you as crazy and stuff like that. But, I feel like history is really going to repeat itself, Who knows? Maybe that's what happened to the Egyptians.
No, you're
it was good talking to you guys.
All right, appreciate
I got to go, but I can't wait to listen to the rest of the show.
Okay, appreciate the call, man. All right, so that's Tyler. So takes on Space Force, Frank. What do you got there?
Yeah, I got two takes on that. Let's take the mundane take and let's take the crazy alien take. So the mundane take is the first person who gets in space. The first person who puts a base on the moon and has a bunch of people up in orbit wins the game. They win the game. So China's up there, just to use it there. Well, now they can shoot down our satellites. Now they can drop rocks on our cities. No problem. It's easy once you're in space. Moving a rock from the moon to drop on Washington is so much easier when you're in space than it is from the ground. It's easy. So you have to have someone up there, because as soon as the first person up there wins the game. Let's say China's up there and then we start trying to get up there. They say, nope, too bad. And they just shoot down every rocket that we try to send up. The first person in orbit wins the game. So for that reason, Space Force is a good idea. Absolutely. And if you look at the crazy take, there's UFOs and there's all of this weird stuff moving around up there. Of course, Space Force is also a good idea because we got to protect ourselves. So any way you look at it, it's real. You know, Ted Cruz came out and said, "Oh, space pirates." Of course, there are going to be space pirates. Of course, there are. There are pirates in every historical era on Earth, on the land, on the seas, everywhere. For all of time, there have been pirates. So I guarantee you, there will be pirates in space. And if you're out there, if you're starting a pirate mercenary company, get in contact with me because I'll join you. There are definitely going to be pirates in space. So this whole Space Force idea, no matter which way you look at it, it may seem silly, but if you really sit down and think about it for a bit, it's a good idea.
There you go. If you want to make your own space pirate conglomerate, Frank's in. TroubledMindsRadio@gmail is how you reach us. Oh, Frank is the best. Okay. All right, we're done. This is it. This is the end. I'm going to cue the music, Frank, so you can start your tell us what's up. Tell us what's up. What's wrong with the world, my man? Because there's plenty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much. We'll have to go back to this Siberia story. Stay tuned on Thursday. We'll talk about that. It's really interesting. Real data, real information that sheds some light on the way things are going. But yeah, stop mockery. Who said that? I think it was the guy in Project Blue Book. Mockery shouldn't be part of the scientific process. It shouldn't be part of politics. We should take all these ideas seriously, and Space Force is the perfect example. Put aside the mockery. Actually think about the idea. Can you trust people up there? I don't think so. I don't think so. Can we trust ourselves up there? I don't think so either. Space Force is a good idea. And all this stuff out there, it's real. Can't all be fake. Some of it's real. Maybe only a very small percentage, but some of it is. And what does that say? So put aside the mockery. Put aside the ridicule. Start thinking about these ideas, and I think you'll surprise yourself.
Absolutely. And that's why we do the show. So, again, we don't have many answers, but we do have a lot of questions. So if you enjoy that type of conversation, you know what to do. If you want to help us out, troubledminds.org. There you go. All our socials are there. Follow us, share us, tell your friends and enemies and your close relatives. Tell them there's something to learn here. And though we're not teaching, we are asking questions that will make your mind wake up and teach yourself. And that's really what this is all about. So here we are. Here we are at the end of this one more time. So if you enjoyed the show, one more time, the way to help us the most, please go to iTunes. iTunes, leave us a review. Obviously a positive review. And you can help us out that way. And that's probably the way to crack the Technocracy's algorithm the best, because they're one of the biggest, and it'll help us get in there. So anyway, at this point, at the end. So Frank, at the end of the last one, we squeezed in Space Force because you weren't here. We won't do that tonight because we did it last time. We'll save that for another show. But thanks for listening.
Spreading propaganda by playing that video. You should stop doing it.
And a little bit of humor. Humor is okay too. Okay, so thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us. We know it's a long show. It's that way for a reason. We think there's a lot of information that we can't even touch. We end up putting, we've got probably another 50 links that are on the cutting room floor because we don't have enough time tonight. So stay tuned for the next time. This is Sunday night. We'll be back on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, and we'll have more amazing information for you. And again, if you like us, give us a call, 702-957-1037. It is perpetual. It is persistent, and you can call and leave a message. We'll play it on the next show. And there you go. There you go. So for right now, this is the end. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, the magnificent Frank Pierce. Thank you for listening. And from our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.